Those are Donald Trump's plans.
Well, revenge does take time, I will say that. And sometimes revenge can be justified.
He'll take control. We'll pay the price.
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message. Paid for by Harris for president.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career and they talked to me about it.
He was done in just months.
I did do it online.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at My Computer Career.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
It's Tim Donnelly for Window Nation. Right now, buy 2 windows and get 2 free. Plus, pay nothing for 24 months. Hurry, sale ends September 30th, so schedule an in-home estimate at 866-90Nation or at windownation.com.
At the UPS store, we understand the importance of a first impression. That's why we're here to help you put your best foot forward and be unstoppable with our printing services. With high-quality paper stock options, banners, business cards, venues, and more, we make sure your small business stands out and your message reaches the masses. After all, we're the one-stop prints that pop store. Most locations are independently owned. Product, services, prices, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS store. Be unstoppable. Come into your local store today and get your print on.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, Raleigh's injury lawyers.
Bounces his way into the end zone. Touchdown!
Visit GotBrian.com.
That's GotBrian.com.
Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Increasing clouds for this afternoon. Francine likely to make landfall late this afternoon along the Gulf Coast, and we are seeing some cloud cover from that storm, but we're not likely to see much rain from it, maybe until, say, Sunday. 83 for the high this afternoon, and overnight tonight will drop to 60 under mostly cloudy skies. It'll be a cloudy day tomorrow with a high of 80 degrees.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 34 points to 40,702. Market update brought to you by Copa Airlines. Fly Copa Airlines from RDU to Latin America and get 2 vacations in 1. Enjoy a stopover in Panama for up to 7 days with no extra airfare. Book your Panama stopover today at copa.com. That's COPA.com. This hour of the drive brought to you by Zero Res. Kick football season off with a deal this month from Zero Res. 3 rooms of carpets clean starting at $119 and 25% off your air duct cleaning. ZeroResRaleigh.com.
10 seconds left in the quarter. Iamaleava, snap turn, gives Sampson, finds a crease, rumbles over the 5, touchdown Tennessee.
Backpedals, launches, end zone, Jordan Moore, he's got it! Touchdown!
Harrell has a clean pocket and finds Nesbitt down the near sideline. 10-5, touchdown Carolina.
Play fake, Young fires over the middle, and that's intercepted. The Saints pick it off. Miscommunication, and New Orleans brings it to the 40-yard line.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm Tim Donnelly, Dennis Cox, producing the show, keeping us up and running. I hear you, everybody. I'm going to talk directly to the listeners of the first 2 days of our show this week. This is my proof that I'm listening. But also, I don't have to agree with you. I hear the calls for Bryce Young to be benched. I hear the calls. We even had kind of a hint towards it. I won't say he requested it, but there was a hint towards it of putting Bryce Young on the bench from Evan Cohen of Unsportsmanlike when he joined the show yesterday. Talked with him. A lot of listeners saying Andy Dalton. A lot of listeners saying Jack Plummer. I'm flabbergasted by how many people want to bench Bryce Young. I seriously cannot find any bit of logic that makes sense for benching Bryce Young now. If you're somebody that believes in the red shirt and the let him season, let him marinate, you could have argued for that at the beginning of last season. Maybe if you said, all right, Dave Canales believes in marinating and letting him season and redshirting your quarterback, you could have done it at the beginning of this season. But now that the seal's been broken on this year, he was the starter week 1, I can't find a single freckle of logic that makes sense for benching Bryce Young now. Let's break this all down. All of the different reasons that you should not bench Bryce Young. 1, quarterback is a confidence position. I've never met anyone that plays quarterback better when they think their job is in jeopardy. I've gone over this a billion times. The hesitation of, will this interception get me benched? Is enough hesitation to turn a great quarterback into a mediocre quarterback. And if you bench him now, you would be ruining his confidence. Reason number 2, it would make Dave Canales, the new head coach, seem like he doesn't know what he's talking about. Seem like he's flying by the seat of his pants. You can't all offseason talk about how excited you are to build an offense around a player. Talk about how excited you are about a player's ability. Talk about how excited you are for him to be your quarterback and to run your offense, and you're going to build the offense around him. And then week 1, suddenly you're like, never mind, bench him. Makes you feel very flip-floppy. Which I don't bash people for flip-flopping. Let me get ahead of that. If new information arises, if a new argument is made and you want to change your mind, that's fine. But I do think that there's time involved there. You can't be dead set on something on Saturday and by the following Wednesday be completely against it. Especially a decision that big that hopefully you have not taken lightly through any part of the process. Reason number 3, you have to give him a chance to correct his mistakes in this offense. As much as it felt like one giant continuation, one big painful blur continued from last year to this year is a little different. It's a new offense. This year is a little different. There's new players. And not his decision, at least I don't believe it was his decision. He didn't get a chance to iron out any of the wrinkles in preseason. If he played, a couple halves of football with Xavier Legette, with Deontay Johnson, with Jatavian Sanders, with the new guys, then maybe you'd be further along. But week 1 week, as bad as it was, see if he corrects it. I could go on, but I'll jump straight to the end of the story. Even if you think he stinks, if you think Bryce Young is trash, you think he is incurable, you think he is a lost cause, you still don't bench him right now. You still don't bench him right now. For a few reasons. The first of which is the roster probably isn't good enough to contend even with a steadier veteran like Andy Dalton. I don't think if you put Andy Dalton at the quarterback position, suddenly you're in the mix to win the division. Watching week 1, it wasn't just bad Bryce, it was bad Panthers. And then also you want the better draft pick. You want the better draft pick. If playing Bryce, if you are so dead set on him being awful, and yes, again, I'm listening, I'm reading, I'm hearing, there are many of you out there that very, very, very obviously think he is a lost cause. If you believe that, you play him. It's the perfect cover to hide your tank. There are only a few situations in which you can tank and not draw the ire of everyone out there. 1, I like to say people disguise their tank in a farewell tour. If you have a team legend and you announce that they're going to be retiring at the end of the season, and then they're the reason you stink, fans will still applaud every time you walk off the field, and you can get that high draft pick because they'll be applauding the player, and they'll even be applauding the team for letting that player go out on their own terms. The other way is exactly what the Panthers are in. If you missed on a draft pick, by the way, exactly what you think the Panthers are in if you think he's a lost cause. If you miss on a draft pick, particularly at an important position, you can ride that out and have them be the anchor that drags you down, and then that draft pick can likely lead to your replacement. There's the benching arguments I just don't get. I don't get to the point that this is really the first time I've addressed it this week. We kind of flew by it a few times this week, but I was trying not to make it a thing, but it is obviously a thing in Panthers Nation.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, I guess I see why you would be enraged. And fans, you have the right to be enraged. But you also have to think of the team as a whole, right? It's not just that guy played bad, I want him out. You have to think of the other options going in. You have to think of how it affects the team moving forward, how it affects the coach, how it affects the roster construction, how it affects future draft picks. It's not as simple as watching the film. Gosh, this guy has a lot of minuses on his report card. Let's go ahead and replace him. I'm you know, and I use this phrase all the time. I'm all about gathering information. Gather information. Play him more so you can better act, better be proactive this upcoming offseason. You play him, you learn. Do you want to keep him around as a backup? If you do go with another quarterback next offseason, or do you think he's somebody that'll be a negative just by being in the room? Figure that out. Play him, get to know him better, see how he works in your offense.
JC in our YouTube live chat said, I'm of the opinion that leaving Young out there to continue to get destroyed will hurt his confidence more than actually benching him.
Well, first of all, hold on. If that's the case, that's good in a weird way.
Huh?
If you're playing him and he's playing bad, like that's where the draft pick comes in. And also that is further proof that he was never going to be an NFL starting caliber quarterback. If you're out there playing football, which means you have the opportunity every single week to go out there and fix it, and your confidence is getting shot rather than getting motivated to hit the film room or the practice field or the playbook, whatever you do to get better, like as long as you're in the game, there's something you can do about it. The moment you take him out of the game, he thinks you don't like him. He thinks you're not good. He thinks you don't believe in him, and there's nothing he can do about it. As long as you're in the game, there's something you can do about it. There are quarterbacks that have gone on to long, successful careers that started rough. Peyton Manning might be the best example. Everybody uses it. Josh Allen is an example. Everybody uses it. Jared Goff is a more recent example. Like, there's a bunch of quarterbacks that may have started very, very rough in their rookie year, and the fact that they made it out and turned into very, very good quarterbacks tells me they had the weird switch in their brain that they overcome stuff. If you were to bench them, I don't know if they would have been able to show us that switch. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Tim Donnelly here for DraftKings Sportsbook. Whether you call it a tutty, taking it to the house, a TD, a touchdown, whatever you call it, they matter more at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. If you're ready to place your first NFL wager, why not pick something simple like a player to score a touchdown? I have the odds up here for touchdown scores in the game tomorrow night between Miami and Buffalo. How about a little Jalen Waddle plus 145? If you want to get really excited when he does his little penguin waddle in the end zone, then plus 145 are the odds for him. Dalton Kincaid, the tight end for Buffalo, had a slow week one. If you expect a bounce back, plus 220 for Dalton Kincaid to score a touchdown. And then, hey, get ready to do a touchdown dance of your own. Maybe we'll do the waddle. Score big with DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TIMD. That's code TIMD with no spaces. If you use that code at sign up, new customers will get $250 in bonus bets when you bet just $5, and you'll get 1 month free of NFL Plus Premium only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ftball. NFL Plus Premium offer available only to new and former NFL Plus subscribers. Additional NFL Plus Premium terms at nfl.com/terms. We're going to take a break. When we come back, the Patriots won week 1 against the Bengals. Shocked the world. Does that mean we're never going to see Drake Maye play? Stick around.
Hey, Carolina Panthers fans, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. For all the inside information on your team, join me and my co-host, WRAL TV's Chris Lee, for our podcast, Panthers Playbook, presented by Carolina Ford Dealers. In every episode, we'll keep you up to date on your Panthers, and we'll do it with access only we can provide. Locker room insight, exclusive interviews, and in-depth looks at every Panthers game. Follow and subscribe to Panthers Playbook wherever you discover your favorite podcasts or watch on YouTube.
At the UPS Store, we understand the importance of a first impression. That's why we're here to help you put your best foot forward and be unstoppable with our printing services. With high-quality paper stock options, banners, business cards, venues, and more, we make sure your small business stands out and your message reaches the masses. After all, we're the one-stop prints that pop store. Most locations are independently owned. Product, services, prices, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS Store. Be unstoppable. Come into your local store today and get your print on.
This September, Diamonds Direct's ultimate offer is back, stronger than ever. Diamonds Direct helps you get the perfect jewelry gift with 0% interest. That's right, enjoy 5 years of 0% financing on any Diamonds Direct purchase. It's your chance to get her the perfect ring with 0 interest and comfortable monthly payments that fit your budget. But act fast. This offer ends September 30th. For details and more, visit diamondsdirect.com. Spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest on approved credit. Only at Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Veterans, did you know VA mortgage rates have plummeted and you can now access up to 100% of your home's equity and turn that into cash right now? Hey, it's Roger Moore, President and CEO of Loan Pronto, announcing our VA Equity Advantage program. This VA offer can get you $50, $70, $100,000 cash out with no junk fees and no hassle, with APRs in the 5s. You can pay off all those credit cards, personal loans, car loans, and get one easy-to-manage payment. Veterans we help save on average $850 per month. And listen, if you're a veteran with a current mortgage rate over 6.25%, we can do a streamlined refinance with no income verification and no appraisal, saving you hundreds a month. At Loan Pronto, we respect what you've done for our country, and we show it. Call now and ask about our special VA Equity Advantage program. 919-381-1760. 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. 919-381-1760.
Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. NMLS consumeraccess.org.
O'Reilly Auto Parts can help take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Stop by the new O'Reilly Auto Parts in Whispering Pines on Highway 22 next to Domino's.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Brooks and Dunn, the best-selling duo of all time, live.
Something country.
Neon Moon Tour 2025.
Urban neon.
With David Lee Murphy.
A little dust on the bottom of that red dirt road.
March 27th, PNC Arena. On sale Friday at livenation.com. Brooks and Dunn Live.
Welcome to Staples, young man.
I'm starting first grade.
Aw. Well, you know, Staples has crayons, markers, glue.
I need a laptop.
Oh, sure. With Staples Hot Deals, you can save up to $500 on select PCs.
The finances are Mom's department.
Right.
I'm looking for performance, like a Core i7 processor.
Boy, first grade has really changed.
Totally.
Save big on tech for school with Staples Hot Deals. With up to $500 off select PCs. Ends 9/14 in-store only for participating stores. Visit staples.com/stores/school deals.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here from my friends at Buffalo Brothers. I live and work on both coasts, travel the country, and there's nothing better than Buffalo Brothers. The best wings on the planet and half-price appetizers Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6. Visit all 5 Triangle locations and ask for their great daily beer specials. And how about this special? Every Sunday, they have $6 Bloody Marys and $6.50 Jamesons. Dine in, carry out. BuffBrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Is Drake Maye, former UNC quarterback, 3rd overall pick of the New England Patriots, should he get comfortable on the bench? Patriots coaches, and obviously this includes Gerard Mayo, the head coach, They got to do a pretty good victory lap this week, right? There was I think a poorly handled quarterback competition through the whole preseason, right? Saying, oh, whoever plays better is going to play. Drake Maye obviously plays better. They go with Jacoby Brissett anyway, NC State guy, and that makes you feel like you're kind of not full grasp of the situation. And then week 1 comes around. They are a more than a touchdown underdog. I think it was 8.5 the last I saw it. To the Bengals, to Joe Burrow. Jamar Chase plays because that was up in the air. And, of course, the Patriots manhandle them. Of course they do, right? They hold the Bengals to 8 possessions. They run the ball well, meaning the Patriots, Ramondre Stevenson, and Jacoby Brissett does just enough to shock the world. Doesn't make the big mistake. Looks like a veteran out there. And they win the game. And now they get to celebrate. Right. Oh, see, I knew what I was doing. Gerard Mayo showed up to Jacoby Brissett's press conference. Was this today or yesterday?
It's today.
It was earlier today. Showed up to Jacoby Brissett's presser and made him put on a Tennessee hoodie because Gerard Mayo went to Tennessee, and of course Jacoby Brissett went to NC State, and we know how that game played out Saturday night. So now they're chummy. Now they've got buddy bets. They've got, bro, we should bet on the game. I'm so glad I named you the starter. We won week 1.
Now wear this.
Oh, wear this. Ha, 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 ha. Make sure everybody gets a picture. Let me ask you this, because this is whether this question right here, your answer will determine whether anything has changed for Drake Maye. Do you think that the Patriots are now contenders because they won a game in week 1? Do you think, right, they came into the year in a lot of power rankings and a lot of Vegas odds and things, even below the Panthers. Do you think with those expectations, they have beaten the Bengals in an ugly, gross, disgusting, knockout, drag-out week 1 game, that now suddenly they are a contender? Do you think they are a contender to win playoff games? Do you think they are a contender to win the division in a division that has the Bills, and a division that has the Dolphins, and a division that has the Jets?
No.
If that is your answer, then nothing has changed in regards to Drake Maye. The victory lap is just that. It's a lap that means nothing. If Drake Maye is ready to play and you think it is best for his development, you play him week 2. It'll be tough to swallow for Jacoby Brissett, but guess what? You'd have to hit him with the Costanza. It's not you. It's me. It has nothing to do with what you did in week 1. We loved what you did in week 1. It was fun. You got Gerard Mayo his first win as a head coach. But this is a decision for the next 10, 15 years of our franchise, not the next 10, 15 games of our franchise. So much so that this is going to sound ridiculous, but let me land the plane on the other side of it. If I were a diehard fan of an NFL team that had the rival that you almost enjoy seeing lose as much as you enjoy seeing your own team win, Dennis is a Steelers fan. I think Steelers-Ravens are that way.
I love seeing the Ravens lose.
Maybe Packers-Bears.
All right.
Right?
Fair.
Like maybe
local, State Carolina.
State Carolina, yes, but I'm actually no, I'm focusing more on the NFL, but it kind of applies to the college game. If I were a team that had a rival that I wanted to see be terrible every year, I think I would root for them to start 3-0 every year. I think I would root, if I were a Steelers fan, I think I'd root for the Ravens to go 3-0 against an easy schedule every single year. Because it clouds your judgment quickly. You get up 3-0, suddenly you're trading future first-round picks to go all in for this year. Suddenly you're going, no, don't play the young guys who need reps. Play the veterans that give us the best chance in week 4. Suddenly you're not thinking about the franchise as a franchise, you're thinking about as a season. The New England Patriots beating the Bengals, if that gets everybody in that facility a little buzzed on their own supply, and now all of a sudden they think they're in the mix, And they start treating it that way, and suddenly it's like, I don't care if Drake's ready. Jacoby Brissett has us 3-0, or has us 1-0 with a win over the Bengals, or has us in this position. I'm looking at him going, yeah, make all those decisions. Make the decisions for right now, even though you're not built for right now. Even though you're not really a contender right now. We're going to talk with Mike Glennon later in the show. Obviously, I host a podcast, Pack Therapy, with him. We break down NC State football, and one of the things we talked about, and this was in honor of the Panthers, was starting with that kind of awful week one. And Mike, and this is not bragging, but it's just a fact. 3 times in his career, he was on the team that finished dead last in the league and got the number 1 overall pick. He was in the league for 10 years. 3 of them, he got the number 1 pick. So he knows a little bit about what it's like to be on a losing NFL team. And he told the story of when he was on the Jacksonville Jaguars, it was the Gardner Minshew year. They won week 1. You know what they did next?
What's that?
Reeled off 15 straight losses and ended up drafting Trevor Lawrence that offseason.
Mm-hmm.
It was Trevor Lawrence that offseason. They got it back-to-back years, but that one was the Trevor Lawrence pick. And how ridiculous would it have been if after winning week 1, right, little Minshew magic, all of a sudden, if they bought into something crazy and now it's, oh, gosh, let's make sure our young guys aren't out there. We've got a playoff season to protect. No, you still have to worry about the future. Drake Maye is not bolted to the bench. He's not nailed to the bench any more so than he was 48 hours ago. 72, however many hours ago it was. Pre-game. The win, while nice, good for culture.
Sure.
Go win a game. Gerard Mayo, get the first one.
That
first win off your back. I'm with it. The biggest thing in your franchise is still Drake Maye, because he used the number 3 overall pick on a quarterback, and messing that up sets you back 10 years. 5 years. Although sometimes it feels like 10, and teams that don't have a quarterback completely understand. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, here's Dennis Cox.
Hey, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. Last night, decided to have a little alone time. Hopped on the motorcycle, went for a ride, enjoyed the nice cool air, felt absolutely amazing outside. And then one thing that I know when I'm out there on the road, I actually do see other bike riders out there. And it's nice knowing that I'm part of a community that has the same mindset of I do in terms of being safe out there on the road. And that's where Law Tigers comes in. They're riders too, just like me, just like you. If you ride a motorcycle, whether it's commute daily to work or it's just something you like to do on weekends, maybe go on long rides during the summertime, go out to the Blue Ridge Mountains. Motorcycle riders, we're all part of that same community, and that's, again, where Law Tigers comes in. If you're injured in a motorcycle accident, give Law Tigers a call at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS before you call your insurance company. Insurance companies, we all know, just want to pay the least amount possible. Law Tigers, like I said, they're riders too. They know what your bike is worth. They know what your gear is worth. They know what you're going through after an accident. So make sure you give them a call because your case evaluation is always free, and they do not get paid until your case settles. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. There was a debate last night. I don't know if many of you heard. So I thought what we do coming back is our reactions to policy. No, I'm kidding. You know the show by now, hopefully. Hopefully you know we're not getting into politics. But we will get into some sports debates maybe inspired by a presidential run. Promise. No real politics, all sports politics. Next.
It's bow time. It's not just football season. It's tailgate season, and that includes every kind of football, whether it's got goalkeepers or goalposts. The kick is good! Because it doesn't matter where or how you tailgate. When you've got crispy chicken and fluffy buttermilk biscuits from Bojangles, your tailgate is better than great. It's legendary. Head to Bojangles and order your tailgate box with boldly seasoned chicken, fixins, biscuits, and legendary iced tea today. It's bow time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's bow time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's Bo time.
You've heard the phrase, timing is everything. Well, forget it, at least when it comes to a mortgage. Hi, this is Adam Gold for Miller Lending with this reminder. Mortgage rates go up and they come down, and it's a fool's game to try and guess when you're at the top or the bottom of the market, which is why it's always the smart move to not pay closing costs. Take timing out of the equation. Get a great rate today. Then, when the Fed cuts interest rates next month and the rates drop again, you can refinance free of charge and lower your monthly payment without feeling like you wasted thousands of dollars in closing costs. Are you one of those people who paid $5,000 in costs just to get a 7% rate, just to save $50 a month? Come on. Miller Lending does all kinds of mortgages, but Gordon will always tell you that not paying thousands of dollars in fees is the smartest move you can make. Personally, I've had 11 mortgages with Miller Lending and have saved about $50,000 in costs. Online, MillerLending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS ID number 2502146.
Hey friends, Paul Ihander from 99.9 The Fan for FanDuel. NFL Week 2 is here, and you can start the season with a big return on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. If you're new to FanDuel, you'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Think about this single game parlay. Bills at Dolphins, Dalton Kincaid, anytime touchdown, Josh Allen, 300-plus passing yards, Tyreek Hill, 100-plus receiving yards. Just suggestions. Just visit FanDuel.com/Paul. Paul with a capital P, and make every moment more this season. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 plus and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hardworking partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Adam Gold in studio with my friend Sammy Hanna, owner-operator of the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. It is open house time Friday and Saturday. Bells, whistles, pomp, and circumstance. What do we got going on?
Adam, we're super excited. This Friday, Saturday, our open house. We only do it twice a year, so our homeowners only get 2 opportunities to come and join us. We've got food trucks Friday and Saturday. We've got an ice cream truck Friday and Saturday. We've got all of our manufacturers' reps. I'll be there. Many radio hosts will be there, and it's just a great time to come out, meet our sales staff, put your hands on the product. We've got all the products. If you're interested in coming out and seeing, it's a great time to kick the tires. If you want to just come out and meet and greet and have a good time, put your name in the entry. We're giving away thousands and thousands of dollars in gift cards.
That's amazing. I saw that. Grand prize $2,500 giveaway.
It's a great giveaway.
That is a giveaway. I would say there's a talent show, but the talent show are your staff and the products, because you guys are amazing.
We're an education powerhouse.
Aluminum Company of North Carolina, 800-672-4348 on Hamlin Road in Durham. Check them out Friday and Saturday.
Train heating and cooling systems are engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit traininfo.com to find your local independent train dealer. It's hard to stop a train.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Tim Donnelly here. There was a debate last night. Let's dive into the nitty-gritty. I thought the winner – no, I like that joke. It's a good little bait and switch. We're not actually going to talk about the presidential debate. However, now that all of you are like, oh, not again. No, now we can get into the fun stuff. If you were running for the president of North Carolina sports if that were a thing, right? If that were a position, if you were running for the president of North Carolina sports, all sports in the state of North Carolina, what would your platform be? Hi, I'm Tim Donnelly. I'm running for the North Carolina sports president. And I want you to vote for me because fill in the blank. I have some of what I think would be the core tenets of my my campaign. Dennis, I believe you have some of yours.
I do.
If you have one that you would like to pass on to us, you can comment on our YouTube. We live stream on YouTube, 99.9 The Fan. You can comment there. You can send them to me on Twitter, at Donnelly Sports, DONNELLYSPORTS. If you were running for the North Carolina sports president, what would be your platform? I have some serious ones, some funny ones. Some are funny that I really hope we could actually make serious. I'll start with this. This one's serious. UNC, Duke, and NC State have to move as a unit in conference realignment.
Okay.
I'd like to throw Wake in there as well, but if I have to compromise to make the other party happy, do a little bipartisanship, then I can be talked down to just the three in the triangle. And then on top of that, to help save the ACC, I want a portion of all gambling revenue, now that's legal in the state of North Carolina, that is bet on one of the schools in the ACC to be divided up amongst the ACC schools in as pure NIL money. So it's a way to make up maybe a little bit of the difference between the Big Ten and the SEC. Money-wise would be the more you bet on those teams, the more that the state brings in, the more that you get. That's my first running campaign point. What's yours, Dennis?
My first campaign point would be to have all schools in the state of North Carolina, ACC schools, have to move together. I'm keeping all four.
Yep.
All four got to stick together. You and I are on the same wavelength. Hey, you know what? We agree on this. We're on the same side when it comes to this.
We can go shill for each other on the campaign trail.
Hey, I am all for all four schools. Also, in ACC basketball, State, Duke, Carolina, Wake must play in the Big Four at Greensboro Coliseum every Christmas.
I like that.
Around holiday time in December. Bring back the Big Four tournament at the Greensboro Coliseum.
I would like it not to be exactly on Christmas for the simple reason
of
I spend Christmas with family, and I would like to be able to go to this event
around the holiday time.
So yeah, I'm with it.
Yes.
Another one.
Bringing back the Big Four.
Another one of mine, and this is one that is going to sound jokey, but I actually wish it could be real. The two professional sports franchises. The major professional sports franchise, or three of them, excuse me, in the state of North Carolina. There's a win percentage, and I don't know what that number is. Maybe it's 500.
Okay.
But if you don't meet that over any 10-year period, you are forced to sell. It is an ownership deal. You have 10 years. 10 years is a long time. Like Tepper's not even there yet, right? 10 years is a long time. And I would assume like Dundon might be to the point where they could, win 20% of their games for the rest of the decade and still be over it. It's just a little baseline, and it's inspired by a comment that I saw on social media about the Panthers. And it said, if there's a bad play, look at the players. If there's a bad series, look at the play caller. If there's a bad game, look at the head coach. If there's a bad series of games, look at the GM who put the roster together. And if there's a bad couple of seasons, look at the owner, right? Basically, the longer a struggle happens, when guys are being replaced, players are being replaced, GMs are being replaced, coaches are being replaced, play callers are being replaced. If the stench wears on, you look at the owner. If you can't figure it out in a decade, I'm not saying like you get fined or anything. You just have to sell, which would be for billions and billions of dollars. I'm forcing you to make a massive profit because I guarantee you the value has gone up. 10-year period, maybe it's not even 50% of games. Maybe you have to win 40% of your games. I don't know what the number is, but there's a threshold, and if you fall below in any 10-year period, you got to put it up for sale.
All right, you and I are actually on the same wavelength on this one.
Look at that.
I said if any professional sports team in the state of North Carolina does not make the playoffs 3 times over a 10-year window, any 10-year window, you're forced to sell the team. You must make the playoffs 3 times in a 10-year window.
I heard that wrong. I thought you were saying they had to make it 7 out of 10.
No.
I thought you were saying if they don't make it 3 times, they got to sell. I was like, goodness gracious.
But also, before we do that, I'm forcing David Tepper to sell the Carolina Panthers. I'm forcing him to sell it. You know what? I'll tax write off whatever it is. Like you pay no tax on your sale of the team in North Carolina, but you got to get rid of it. You got to sell it.
I would get rid of it.
You got to sell it though.
One-time offer.
One-time
no
offer.
Taxes. Like the guys from Armageddon. We don't want to pay taxes ever again. That's a weird movie reference. If you're with me on that,
I'm
get
with you on that one.
If not, go watch
but yes,
the
I'm
Ben Affleck
forcing
classic.
David Tepper to sell the team, and then for every professional sports team in the state of North Carolina, if you do not make the playoffs 3 times over a 10-year window, you're forced to sell.
Again, if you're just tuning in, we are inspired by the debate last night, but not really. Answering this question, if you were running for the president of North Carolina sports, we've created an office that you have to be elected into. What would be your platform? What would you run on? What would be the things that you say, vote for me because? If you have some, you can go ahead and comment on our YouTube live stream. You can send them to me on Twitter, @Donnelly Sports. We'll check in with those later in the show. I have another one here, and this is, I think, might be the most universally approved. There is a rule that at major college and professional sporting events, the tailgating lots can open no later than 10 a.m.
Even like on night games?
Why not?
Okay.
Even on night games.
All right.
No later than 10 a.m. Obviously, if you have a noon game, 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, that's allowed. You can go earlier, but 10 a.m., I want to be able to have at least a brunch. I want to be like, if I'm bringing the grill, I want to be able to do like a sausage, bacon situation early, lunch situation, and then get to dinner. Like, let us enjoy the tailgating. Matt
Rule said he'd play at 9 a.m. if he could because he wants kegs and eggs.
I don't want to play at 9 a.m. I want to enjoy the tailgate.
That's what he'd rather do.
That's because he can't. Maybe he does tailgate, but he shouldn't be tailgating as the head coach. Nebraska has good tailgates, though. Don't get it twisted. They're an underrated home venue. Sellouts for 1 billion years in a row. Do you have another?
I do. All sporting events that sell alcohol in the state of North Carolina must offer a alcoholic beverage that caps at $5.
I don't have this on mine, but I've heard it this way.
You must have one alcoholic beverage offering that is a beer that has to be capped at $5, and then one other drink, whether it's a wine or a mixed drink, that capped at $5.
I've heard, like, and this was proposed to me, like, seriously by somebody, as a rule that anything sold in a stadium has to be the same price as a location out of the stadium.
Okay, I'm for that.
Which we had a hard time deciphering whether that would lower the price in the stadium or drive up the price at one particular location outside. Mm-hmm. If you say, like, hey, if you're selling a beer for $18, you have to sell it the same price as what you sell it outside down the street, they would just pick one spot outside down the street and be like, all right, well, now there's a random place with $18 beers just so we can keep it up in the but I do think that's like price gouging, especially if you don't allow returns.
Exactly.
If you have a ticket and you can't go out to your car at halftime and come back in and all food is $1 billion inside, it's messed up.
I'm also capping bottled water at $2.
You're not gonna,
and it has to be at least 16 ounces. None of the little 8-ounce things. Oh, it's $2 for a bottle of water. And it's little 8-ounce things. No, it has to be at least 16 ounces.
Just lowering the prices on everything is going to get people on your side.
I know.
If you're running for
right?
Just tickets, max.
I just lowered beer and water prices.
$2.50.
Let's go.
How about this? Just simply bring MLB to Raleigh. Bring
okay.
a major league baseball team to Raleigh. Why? We could get real in deep, but how about we already have great minor leagues. We already have great youth leagues. We have great high school, college. I think we're just missing the big leagues.
Anthony says that he wants to bring a baseball team to the Triad, so the Greensboro area. I want to bring one.
This side of the Triad, maybe?
I want to bring one to the Triangle.
Yeah,
because Charlotte has 2 major professional sports teams. That will mean the Triangle would have 2 major professional sports teams. So that way we're spreading things across the state. It's easier access for everyone to get to multiple professional sporting events. I am making sure that we have easy access for all.
And then Ty goes to right? With 2 major professional sports leagues in each city, tie goes to the one with the better college scene. We are thus the sports capital of North Carolina.
That we are. I mean, we already are.
Yeah, true. But this one would be like, it'd be easier to explain on paper.
Yeah, I mean, if the Panthers and Hornets were both winning games, that'd be a little different, but that's not the case.
For darn sure. What about this one? And this one's inspired by what's going on this weekend. I don't know if you can do this as like an elected official, but it feels like you should. You can just name holidays, right?
Of course.
I want there to be a state of North Carolina college football Saturday holiday. And it would be something like this weekend, which has all 7 FBS teams in the state of North Carolina are playing in North Carolina. 7 of them are playing home games. There's one that is, what is it? Central is on the road at Wake, maybe?
No, Central's at Carolina.
Central's at, there it is, duh. Central is at UNC, so they're obviously on the road, but still in the state of North Carolina. I think we stagger them, right? Maybe this is where we get like an 11 a.m. start on one of the games.
Sure.
And you go like 11, 1, 3, 5, and you make it so there's always a little overlap, always 2 games going on from lunchtime all the way through, games being played in North Carolina, right? It becomes like illegal to water your lawn or rake leaves that day because everybody should be inside or at a bar somewhere or at a buddy's house with multiple screens just watching football. Some kind of government pick'em situation where we give a prize to whoever can pick the closest score to all 7. Like, let's do it up big. Let's make it a holiday.
My final one, there'll be a Stadium Series game once every 5 years in the Triangle.
So now you're bullying national organizations. You're telling the NHL they've got to come here.
I'm getting a Stadium Series game once every 5 years.
I'm with it. I mean, I'm not going to complain about that. I think.
Well, once every 5 years.
I think that might be a campaign promise. You can't.
I want once every 5 years.
That might be a campaign promise. I don't know if you can fulfill.
Once every 5.
You're the kid in like running for 8th grade class president that runs on like the water fountains are gonna spit out soda. There's gonna be no homeroom, no homework,
no homework,
and it's just like
we all get nap time.
I'm gonna vote for you just because in case you can pull it off, but I know you cannot pull any of this off. So Dennis is just tickets cheaper, beers cheaper. You have to bring awesome national events through the Triangle every year.
Yeah,
and
I'm bringing back the Big 4.
You know what's going to happen? You're going to have to run for like United States of America sports president to actually make this happen.
I mean,
we were just running for North Carolina sports president,
and they're all impacting the state.
It's a fun little deal. Again, we're not actually a show that messes around in the real politics, but if you want to start throwing sports into anything, we'll find a way to make it happen. And as I mentioned, this is kind of one of those cool Venn diagrams of the schedule where all 7 FBS teams are playing at home. So there's or in the state of North Carolina, not at home for obviously North Carolina Central. And then of course the biggest game of the weekend. I didn't even mention this. North Carolina A&T hosting the Delaware Blue Hens.
Oh, okay.
May make an appearance at that one.
I'll be ECU hosting App.
That game is going to be bananas.
I cannot wait to go out to Greenville on Saturday.
Atmosphere bananas.
It's going to be awesome.
App State's going to have some anger from the Clemson game.
I'm very stoked to see those two programs play each other once again. I really wanted to get out to Kid Brewer out in Boone last year when ECU made the trip. Was not able to do so. But yeah, two very strong, passionate fan bases here in the state. Big followings. Diehard tailgates.
I did see Mike Houston, the ECU coach, spoke to the media today and talked about how it's good for the state of North Carolina that they have that series with App State.
I 100% agree.
So I think you'll have opportunities in the future to check off the bucket list on both sides, both home venues in that one, because he does appear, and I believe App State is also as dedicated to that game being one that we get to see quite often. And and there's going to be those ACC games where at least UNC and NC State are being required to play quite a few more in-state games on the road against teams like App State and ECU and Charlotte. So those are sneaking up on us as well. What do you think Brian Murphy would put on his campaign platform? Brian Murphy, WRAL Sports investigative reporter, expected to be joining us at some point in the next few minutes here, although I just got a little maybe look from Dennis. So we'll work on getting Brian Murphy on. But what we were going to talk about with Brian is some reporting he's done for WRAL. Brian Murphy is a WRAL Sports investigative reporter, and I have just a strong aversion to renderings, to mock-ups, to blueprints, because I think I've told this story on air before. Everyone that was recruited where I ended up playing football at the University of Delaware, on your recruiting visit, they would show you these drawings of an awesome athletic facility, upgraded weight room, beautiful locker room. It looked like a spaceship. And they would say, by the time you graduate, this is what you're going to be playing in. And then you'd get excited, you'd commit, you'd go there, and the seniors would be like, yeah, I bet you they showed you the same drawings they showed me. So I have kind of a strong aversion to renderings, but we did get some renderings of what the formerly known as PNC Arena and Carter Finley Stadium area is going to look like with the Raleigh Sports and Entertainment District that we've been promised. And a lot of that reporting has been done, as I mentioned, by Brian Murphy of WRAL, who now joins us on the Heister Automotive Group hotline. Brian, before we dive into the developments in that area of town, we just had this conversation, and I just kind of want to hear your thoughts on it. What would be your campaign? What would be your platform if you were running not for like actual president, but for North Carolina sports president, and you were just trying to get all state of North Carolina sports fans to vote for you? What do you think you could what issue would you tackle?
Oh man, I think I would run on replacing David Tepper as owner of the Panthers.
Pretty.
And
so you're getting the same comments on your stuff that we're getting.
I'd volunteer myself to take over that team, or maybe make it like Green Bay Packers, community owned.
There you go. I think that would be. I'd vote for you. If you told me we could all get a piece, and I'm talking about the real piece of the team, not like the $250 piece of paper that the Packers are still selling. Let's jump into the serious stuff. Brian Murphy, WRAL Sports investigative reporter. I guess we'll start with kind of the basis of it. Like everybody's gotten used to over the last handful of years calling it PNC Arena. Why won't it be called PNC Arena anymore?
Well, they had a naming rights agreement that expired at the end of August. They had signed up for a 2-year deal, and so that deal expired. And I think, given all of the developments that's happening around there, it was a much more attractive naming rights package than maybe in previous years. And it certainly seems like Lenovo is going to be the new sponsor. The signage is going up already at PNC Arena. They're trying to keep it hidden, but the wind is our friend sometimes, and blew some of the coverings off the signs over there at Lenovo. And so I'm sorry, I'm a little distracted. Just walked back in, but is that what you asked about?
Yeah, no, exactly. We're talking about the name. You mentioned Lenovo, the signage. I saw you tweeted it out, a picture from, it looks like Brett Canales or Nice.
Yeah. Brett Nice works over here at WRL, and we were over there for the announcement about the new development. There's so much happening. We were over there for the announcement about the new development, and we saw these signs going up for Lenovo, which obviously was given away by a video game, that featured it already. So there's just so much happening over there that it's pretty amazing.
That's why we love following you, Brian, because you're covering. Yeah, you have the signs when the cover blows off. You're there for the picture, or have somebody there for the picture. You're monitoring the new NHL hockey game to find out what the name is going to be. So it sounds like it's the Lenovo Center is what formerly known as PNC Arena will be called. We asked this question yesterday, so I'll get you to weigh in. The Lenovo Center, a lot of syllables, a lot of words. Not sure we're going to always want to use the full name. When it comes to nicknames, we've had the Vo, TLC, the Lenny. Anything else? Is there any other kind of name that you could see yourself referring it to in slang terms?
I think the LC. I like the LC.
Okay.
I mean, Lenovo Center is what appeared in the game. I like the dome. I like the Lenovo Dome or something. I think something.
That's not bad. It kind of flows a little bit better. The Lenovo Dome.
Yeah. Lenovo Dome. It sort of has that O. The O's are working there together. I kind of like it. The writer in me likes the sound of Lenovo Dome.
We're coming up against the end of the hour, but I do want to hear about the reason why you just mentioned you were over there, for the announcement when it comes to that new arena, that entertainment and what is it, food district? I don't the changes in names all the time. But what do we know about what's going up there outside of the arena now?
Yeah, we got talked to Brian Fork over with the Hurricanes just a few minutes ago, and he said that the parking structures are going to be 2 new garages that are going up. Those will be the first things that go up over there. That'll start at the end of NC State football season next year. And then we're talking a 4,000-seat music venue. We're talking the coolest part is these what they call tailgating suites that are going to be connected to the parking structures. You'll be able to buy those. You'll be able to tailgate. There'll be a 5-acre tailgating zone in between the 2 parking structures. But there's also going to be a hotel out there and housing. A $200 million investment in the first phase. Those parking garages are expected to be finished by the beginning of the 2027 football season.
What do we know about the tailgating experience? I saw in one of the renderings they threw a whole bunch of NC State flags and gear, merchandise all throughout the rendering. Was that an olive branch to like, hey, this is going to be awesome for you, even though we're taking a lot of what you really like in the tailgating space?
Yeah, surface parking is certainly going to go away, but they're hoping to replace that with, like I said, this 5-acre tailgating zone and also these tailgating balconies or suites, for lack of a better term. They talked about them having couches and refrigerators, and you'd be able to walk up to them, get tickets with your friend, probably as part of season tickets, but maybe for people who don't even have season tickets or don't even go to games, can hang out outside in these domes. I think they really know how important tailgating is to not only NC State fans, but Carolina Hurricanes fans. And so I think they're going to try to replicate that as much as they can, create cool experiences out there so that people don't complain too much about the lack of surface parking.
Change. Everyone fears change. There might be some complaints regardless, but it does sound like they're at least, like I said, offering that olive branch. Brian, we appreciate you as always for jumping on the show and keep doing good work.
All right. Appreciate the time. Thanks, guys.
Brian Murphy, WRAL Sports investigative reporter. You can follow him on Twitter at Murph's Turf. Both Murphs and Turf spelled with the PH, just if you're looking to spell it, at Murph's Turf. We're going to take a break, but first, I need to tell you about how important your windows are. I don't even think I knew it. I'm not acting like I'm somebody in the know, but it's eye-opening when Window Nation, Tim Donnelly here for Window Nation, comes to your house for an in-home, no-obligation, fast consultation and estimate. What you end up learning is your windows are one of those things you take for granted, right? You look at them and you think, yeah, you know what? When it rains, I don't get wet. They're doing their job. But you also learn their job might be keeping the air that you heat and cool inside your house. And if they're not doing that job, which you can't see or sometimes you can't even feel, it's essentially you just throwing money away in your energy bill each and every month. So there's tests they can do that can find out how efficient your windows are versus how efficient their windows are. And their windows have the best materials. Their windows have the best installation, the best sealants. So there's most likely going to be a difference, and you can talk about how much your home's value will go up, how much your energy bill will go down. They'll talk about it all with you. Justin came to my house from Window Nation and answered all the questions we have. I'm sure he'd love to do the same for you or another one of the experts from Window Nation. If you want to schedule that fast, no-obligation in-home estimate, go ahead and give them a call, 866-90-NATION. That's 866-90-NATION. Or you can visit them online at windownation.com. Once again, that online URL is windownation.com. We have football at 4 coming up next, where I implore the Carolina Panthers not to baby, not to coddle Bryce Young. Stick around.
We're kicking it this fall with college football. Join 99.9 The Fan all season long and catch your favorite teams in action. The ACC, the SEC, and every conference that matters. You'll find the best matchups here.
Jordan Moore delivers, and the Blue Devils have the lead.
College football on 99.9 The Fan is brought to you by Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford and by Amedios.
It's Trick Out Your Wheels with Sound Station and Security. Our contestants are ruling the streets. Here come the bikes, and the bass is bumping. Sound Station and Security can hook up all your vehicles with amazing custom stereo systems and speakers. Does that golf cart have strobe lights? It sure does. Sound Station has tons of LED lighting options for your bike, ATV, and even golf cart, and we install it all.
If it's got wheels, Sound Station and Security has got you covered. In Raleigh, Smithfield, and myhotsound.com.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Automotive Group. And you know, we're constantly looking for ways to serve you better. One of the ways we do that is with something we call a Go-See. And that's where you select a vehicle from our inventory, and we have thousands, and we get one of our product specialists to bring that vehicle to you at your convenience. How do we do that? Well, it's simple. We have a group of employees that are evaluated based on the number of presentations they do. They're glad to do it. So it's just one more way we get off our keister and bring Heister to you.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $200 in bonus bets when they bet $5. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bet. And see why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. Terms and conditions apply.
Homeowners, listen up. Loan Pronto now has mortgage rates that start with a 4. Hey, it's Dennis Cox for Loan Pronto. It's true. Mortgage rates have plummeted to lows we haven't seen in a long time. If your current rate is over 6%, you can dump it and lower your house payment big time. Loan Pronto just locked in a homeowner with a 4.99% APR. Whether you got your loan last week, last month, or last year, it's time to call Loan Pronto. Even if you're in the process with another lender, stop now and call Loan Pronto. Ask about their zero-cost reduction home loan. You can lock in a lower rate with no closing costs in a matter of days with almost no paperwork and usually no appraisal. And if you act now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Call now. Loan Pronto can give you a rate quote in minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Call 919-381-1760 or loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760. Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781. On approved credit. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Where'd y'all go last week?
Well, we've been watching our budget.
So no going out?
Oh yeah, we're going out, just hitting all the specials. First, we hit the House of Hops. That's Jerome's favorite spot. Big savings on Monday and Wednesdays. Mix and match craft beer and 25% off on to-go growlers. Oh, it's a great place to relax.
You know, the Mix has some good specials and they're across the street.
You have to check out their wine tastings once a month and their live music schedule, plus $5 draft beer on Thursdays. Then Saturday, it's salt and lime brunch, and Monday they have $5 margaritas.
Wait, what about Sharky's?
Oh, sweetie, you know Sharky's is special all the time.
So you're just going in a circle. House of Hops, Salt and Lime, the Mix, then Sharky's. House of Hops, Salt and Lime, the Mix, then Sharky's. Sounds like a vicious cycle.
Well, I wouldn't say it's a vicious cycle. More like a wonderful cycle.
Yeah, sounds like a cycle I need to be riding.
House of Hops, the Mix, Salt and Lime, and Sharky's. Definitely a cycle you should be riding. Hope to see you soon.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, North Carolina's injury lawyers.
Visit GotBryan.com.
That's GotBryan.com. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Increasing clouds this afternoon. We'll see a high of 83 degrees. Francine making landfall along the Gulf Coast late this afternoon, sending some clouds our way, but no rain in our forecast, at least through Friday. We'll see a low tonight of 60. Tomorrow is mostly cloudy with a high of 80 degrees.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is up 124 points to 40,861. Market update brought to you by Copa Airlines. Fly Copa Airlines from RDU to Latin America and get 2 vacations in 1. Enjoy a stopover in Panama for up to 7 days with no extra airfare. Book your Panama stopover today at copa.com, COPA.com. This hour of the drive brought to you by Zero Res. Kick football season off with a deal this month from Zero Res. 3 rooms of carpets cleaned starting at $119 and 25% off your air duct cleaning. ZeroResRaleigh.com. Again, ZeroResRaleigh.com.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Football at 4. We talk pigskin every day at 4. You can set your watch by it. This is like the 3rd or 4th time this week I've said I feel like my opinions are getting older, like I'm becoming an old get off my lawn curmudgeon. One of the things that you almost stereotypically hear from the older generations to the younger generations, and I don't care if we're talking, you know, the boomers to the millennials, the Gen Xers to the Gen Zers, like when you're talking down a generation, it's almost always these kids today are coddled. They don't have it as hard as we did. Oh, everybody makes it so easy for this next generation. But Dave Canales and the Panthers better not coddle Bryce Young. And in some ways, better not coddle the offensive line. The NFL is fully grown adult professional sports. If you're in there, you got to be able to take the heat. If you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen. Cliche for a reason. You got to be able to take the heat. You have to be able to take the good with the bad. There were some bad sacks allowed in that first game against the Saints, right? Call it like I sees it, right? And I could have said there was some bad secondary play, there was some bad receiver play, there was some bad running back. Like everybody had theirs, but there was also some bad as far as pass protection, and obviously the quarterback is a part of that as far as getting rid of the ball. Dave Canales, when he spoke to the media earlier this week, was asked about the sacks that were allowed, and this is what Dave Canales said.
It's on the coaching staff. It's on us. We sat there like we were sitting ducks. We didn't do enough to put our guys, to give them simpler solutions in some of those. And this is one of the best third down pressure packages that you're going to go against. We saw it week 1. We've been against it before. We had a plan. He had counters. So we got out coached in that regard. I take that personal. There was one that Bryce could have seen, and he could have flipped the protection. He's been fantastic doing that. That's the only one I would say that he could have really fixed the problem. They gave us issues with what they did. We need to do better than that. That's coaching.
I like the accountability. Let me get ahead of that. I like a guy going up there and saying, point your arrows at me, right? I say it all the time. In bad, leaders attract blame. In good, leaders deflect credit. So if you're giving up sacks, I like the coach saying, that's on me. I got to design plays better. If you are having a sack-free offense, you go an entire game and your quarterback's jersey stays clean, you say, hey, the players played great. I'm with that. But if what he is saying is not just words, that that's not just him attracting blame, if there is some honesty to them, if there's a kernel of truth, I hate it. You have to let players sink or swim. Empower them to get into the right play and right protection whenever they see it. Imagine how ridiculous that is. There are multiple sacks. The defense was confusing you, and there was only...
Hey, Dennis Cox here.
Dennis Cox here? All right.
That's my bad.
Imagine you give up multiple sacks. Your quarterback gets hit a bunch, and the coach comes out and says there was one that he may have been able to get into a better play. One. Why not all of them? If Bryce Young is out there, let's say Bryce, because what did we hear going into the draft? He's this savant. He's this genius. He understands football. He's great on the whiteboards. He can draw everything up. You're telling me if he was out there and recognized something, saw a little bit of safety rotation, something triggered his brain based on what he saw on film, he couldn't change the play on the others? There was one he might have been able to flip the protection. Give the dude the power. I'll tell you this. As a former quarterback, coach won't let me change the play is a real nice cop-out for running a bad play. I don't know. I just call what I run what he calls. I knew it was – that's the worst. I knew it was going to be covered. In college, maybe you don't trust the freshman or the sophomore to have the entire playbook at his disposal and be out there changing things. But as an NFL quarterback, if you're out there and you have a better than not understanding that this play isn't going to work, change it. And then your conversations become different. Right? Then it's not coach won't let me change the play. Then coach is asking you, hey, on that third down, why didn't you change it when you saw the safeties? Why didn't you change it when XYZ happened? That's a really vulnerable question to ask a quarterback with the power. It gives them ownership over it. That's actually a perfect example. I was watching Aaron Rodgers on the McAfee show, right? Mm-hmm. He does that every week. And he talked about one of the completions to Garrett Wilson. And he goes, and I thought it was funny. He said, I made a bad check at the line. So essentially what Aaron Rodgers did, and this is Aaron Rodgers telling us this, he had say the slot receiver on the left and the slot receiver on the right, and he gave them both like 10-yard ins. So you know what's going to happen there, right? If you have someone on your left running 10 yards up and turning right, and you have somebody on your right running 10 yards up and turning left, that's a collision course. So what did Aaron Rodgers say? He goes, so I knew I had to get it to him maybe even a little early than on time, right? I had to get the catch made before those two trains were on the tracks and they ran into each other. And guess what happened? Completed it to Garrett Wilson, first down. Quarterback made a change, owned it, right? And there is ownership. When you call a play, you want it to work. Made it work, and they got on, and I believe it was on their touchdown drive. One of the only ones they had against a pretty good defense. This is what I mean when I say Bryce has to be unleashed. He has to be set free mentally. See what he can do. Because if Bryce Young is your quarterback for right now, right, for this season, and the reason you drafted him is because of everything Saban told you about him as far as the person he is, everything you saw in film as far as decision-making, and everything he showed you at the whiteboard in the meetings you had leading up to the draft, you better figure out if you were right or not. Put him out there and say, hey, you have full autonomy. You want to change a play? You think they're bringing a blitz? You want to keep your running back in for extra protection? Or you want to send your running back out on a quick flare to try to take advantage of the blitz? Do it. And then if he's out there changing plays to stuff that ain't going to work, that's where you know. Then you're learning. All right, maybe he isn't the savant that we thought we drafted.
Which in that case, he's got nothing.
You didn't draft him because he's 5'10", 180 pounds.
Yeah.
That's not the reason you drafted him. You didn't draft him because he has the biggest arm in the draft. Matter of fact, Anthony Richardson went a couple picks after him. If you were drafting somebody for 6'5", 240 laser rocket arm, you had those options.
Mm-hmm.
You drafted Bryce Young for the brain, for the mentals. Don't coddle him. We used to have call it and run it. C-A-R-I. Call and run it. Called them carry plays. As a quarterback, you hate them. Soon as the signal says carry, you'd be like, man, because you could be out there, right? Coach says call it and run it. That means you can't change anything. They just want to run the play. You could be out there like, this is horrendous. We are about to, oh man, it's never going to work. But guess what you do? Downside hut, and you do your best. Like that's terrible. If you're getting that at the NFL level more often than not, I mean, you got to look at your quarterback and think about why you don't trust him, and then trust him. Right? Give him the leash. See what he does with it. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We're going to take a break, but not before I tell you what's going on at DraftKings. Tim Donnelly here for DraftKings Sportsbook. You can call a touchdown a bunch of different things. A tutty, we used to call them tugs, a TD, taking it to the house, whatever you call a touchdown, they matter more at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. If you are ready to place your first NFL bet, try doing something simple, like just picking a player to score a touchdown. If you're looking at the game this Friday, I have some options for you. James Cook, running back, Buffalo, plus 150 to score a touchdown. Keon Coleman, I keep coming back to Keon for some reason when I'm reading these, plus 235 to score a touchdown. The rookie out of Florida State had a pretty solid week 1. You could always go for something a little bit more spicy. The Dolphins defense, plus 400. The Buffalo defense, plus 450. If you think a pick 6, or that includes special teams, a kick return, if either of those hit. And then once you make your selections, be sure you are prepared to do a touchdown dance of your own if and when it hits. Score big with DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TIMD. Once again, that's at sign up. Use promo code TIMD, TIMD, with no spaces for new customers to get $250 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. And you'll get 1 month of NFL Plus Premium only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ftball. NFL Plus Premium offer available only to new and former NFL Plus subscribers. Additional NFL Plus Premium terms at nfl.com/terms. We're going to take a break. When we come back, hit it and quit it. We line up a bunch of the best stories in sports, hit them, and we quit them and move on to the next. Stick around.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Yes or no, that's all we're allowed to say.
Jeez.
All of us. Did Michelle Smallman jinx the Packers? CC, yes or no?
No.
Thank you, CC.
No.
Yes.
No.
Jovante.
Yes.
Jovante.
Clearly, yes.
Evan, yes.
I want the apology to be as loud as the accusations when Jordan Love comes back and the Green Bay Packers are just fine.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
It's bow time. It's not just football season. It's tailgate season. And that includes every kind of football, whether it's got goalkeepers or goalposts. The kick is good! Because it doesn't matter where or how you tailgate. When you've got crispy chicken and fluffy buttermilk biscuits from Bojangles, your tailgate is better than great. It's legendary. Head to Bojangles and order your tailgate box with boldly seasoned chicken, fixins, biscuits, and legendary iced tea today. It's bow time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's bow time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's bow time.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career and they talked to me about it.
He was done in just months.
I did do it online.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at My Computer Career.
It worked for me and I know it can work for you.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
You know Diamonds Direct for their exquisite diamonds and fine jewelry. What about luxury watches? With a hand-picked collection by the industry's top timepiece experts, skip the waiting list and get the timepiece you've been eyeing right away. And this month only, enjoy 0% interest for 5 years on all the top brands. Imagine owning a $15,000 luxury watch for just $250 a month. Spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest on approved credit. Diamonds Direct, where you can shop direct for diamonds and watches.
Adam Gold in studio with my man Ryan Monsine from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. I knew your dad back in the day. The open house is coming up Friday and Saturday at the Aluminum Company. Talk to me about it.
Yeah, come on out. Take a look at all our products. We have windows, siding, doors, roofing, manufacturers' reps on site to help you answer any of your home improvement needs. And you may just run into this guy right here.
Hey,
he's back.
I want to say something.
We can't get rid of you.
Yeah, free ice cream, free drawings for thousands of dollars worth of prizes. Your favorite salesman will be there. Dallas Sproul, Ryan Monsine, who's my personal favorite, Danny Newman, Patrick Day, John Alexander, Jeff Hoffman. come on by, get your name in for the drawing, win some prizes, and take a look at all the great home improvements the Aluminum Company has to offer.
You guys got tons of great stuff, but all of those names, I have been hearing all of those names for 25 years. It is incredible. Aluminum Company of North Carolina, the open house Friday and Saturday on Hamlin Road in Durham, aluminumcompany.com.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
This is The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. And we are getting ready to play a little Hit It and Quit It, where we run through some of the biggest stories applying to us here in the state of North Carolina in the Triangle. But before we do that, I want you to know how you can win some Jason Isbell tickets. Text Jason, Jason, to 919-860-5326 to enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets to see Jason Isbell and the 400 unit at DPAC on Saturday, September 21st. Once again, the keyword to text in is Jason, Jason, and the number to text it into is 919-860-5326. If you do that, you'll be entered to win a pair of tickets to see Jason Isbell and the 400 unit at DPAC on Saturday, September 21st. Everybody got it? Good. Let's jump into Hit It and Quit It. Let's jump into Hit It and Quit It.
Sorry, I was laughing at this Shannon Sharp news.
There's a story. If you want to know it, you can go just search on any social media for Shannon Sharp right now.
Because there's things we're not allowed to say on air.
Mm-hmm.
But Shannon Sharp was caught on Instagram Live.
He claims he was hacked.
He was claimed he was hacked, but he was on Instagram Live doing some things.
Yep.
Make sure the kids aren't around when you search that one up. That's all I'm going to say.
Yep.
There's
Hall of Fame tight end, ESPN analyst, host of the Club Shay Shay podcast. That'll be an interesting statement whenever he makes the next statement.
What statement can you make?
You know what? This is a lesson. This is what it is. In radio, in media, you learn very quickly. Assume every microphone is live.
Mm-hmm.
We might be to the point now with where every phone is essentially a microphone or a video camera.
Oh, it's a camera.
And you can assume, until you double check, assume every camera is live.
Yep.
So double check the phones if you're doing anything that you don't want. I'm assuming millions of followers. He's got to have a boatload of followers.
Yeah.
If you're doing something that you don't want millions of followers to have access to, assume every microphone is live. Assume every phone is a live camera and microphone as well. Little bit of advice from the Drive here on 99.
He has 3.2 million Instagram followers.
It's a lot of people to see a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of people to see a mistake.
That is a.
Also,
we'll leave that at that.
Side note, and
speaking
heck,
of hitting it and quitting it,
maybe it was a hack. But can we stop just every time something dumb happens on social media from a celebrity, they say they were hacked? Can we just move on from that? Own it, move on. Kind of like what we do here. We hit it and we quit it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's jump in.
We got better tonight.
Arena renderings for the Lenovo Center.
Yes.
Is what we're expecting it to be called, formerly known as PNC Arena. there's the renderings. There's the pictures. There's the promises. This is what it's going to look like. This is what we're going to have. Do you know what is my favorite part about the renderings? And you can check them out, WRALSportsFan.com. Brian Murphy, WRAL Sports investigative reporter, joined the show earlier, has put together a good amount of reporting on what that entertainment district will look like at that part of town. Do you know what I think is the funniest part about the renderings? The happy little digital created people they put in to the renderings.
Those are always fun.
Not only are they showing us, like, this is where a restaurant will go. This is a tailgating parking deck that can help alleviate some of the concerns about tailgating areas going away. And here are a couple thousand people digitally made to show you the good time you will be having. Who just walks around that excited? I will say this. It looks awesome. It looks sweet. Right, it looks expensive, but the build up around Carter Finley and the now Lenovo Center, or expected to be the Lenovo Center, I want them to just make that announcement so I can stop doing all this. Allegedly, the Lenovo Center, formerly known as PNC Arena. But I'll also say this: I've never once seen a rendering or a blueprint that didn't look awesome. I have seen buildings that don't look awesome.
Oh, yeah.
But I have never seen a rendering that didn't look awesome. So, we'll see. The plans are cool. We'll see if the execution can live up to the renderings. Any takeaways for you, Dennis?
Well, I think we should actually get to the polls that we put up.
Oh, right. Well, let's do it.
Let's go right to it. We put out a poll yesterday on Twitter, or X, I should say, and we also put it in our YouTube live chat. We actually have that poll going up right now about what should be the best nickname for the Lenovo Center. Is it the VO? We have people submit these. We have the VO, the LC, TLC, the Lenny, maybe other options that are out there.
The LC and TLC were two different options there. Either the LC for the Lenovo Center or TLC, which stands for the Lenovo Center.
So we actually had a tie in terms of our poll on X. The VO and the Lenny each with 31.8%. Right behind that, TLC with 25%. And we had some other people make some suggestions as well. Someone said the big laptop.
The big laptop?
The big laptop, which I think is a good one.
I don't even know if you need big there. Just the laptop.
Just the big laptop. Or
the
laptop
might work.
Someone said the L.
The L?
Just
I
the
don't
L,
like
which
that.
I think is...
Just because the L, like, hold this L? Like, I don't... The L means the loss in sports, right? Like,
and that's fine. Well, someone's going to take an
loss.
L generally in those things. Someone also suggested the Novo.
The Novo.
Like the Lenovo, the Novo. I'm like, all right. It kind of plays on the VO a little bit, but the Novo, which I thought was actually kind of cool. A couple people did say big laptop, like I said.
Mm-hmm.
Someone said the Think Tank.
Think Tank, not bad. ThinkPad is a Lenovo thing, right?
I think so. The ThinkPad.
ThinkPad? That's not bad.
Yeah. Someone said the Frozen Tablet.
The Frozen Tablet. There's something there for at least hockey season where, although Lenovo wouldn't want this to be it at all, because they're probably, hey, our laptops don't freeze very often. But there's something about like a frozen laptop for the Frozen. There's something there, but I haven't been able to quite hammer down on the wording to get it to the point where I like it. I do think it's funny. And by the way, it's not like we had 6 votes. There are a bunch of votes on this.
Yes.
So the fact that there was a tie at whatever it is, 31.8% is pretty impressive.
And our poll that's going up right now on our YouTube live stream, the VO and the LC are actually tied right now.
I like the Lenny. I'm
a big fan of the VO.
I don't know why. The Lenny sounds like it is like a street ball basketball court. It's like the Rucker. Venice Beach, the Lenny. It just,
Big night at the Lenny.
Yeah, exactly. Did you see so-and-so dunk on so-and-so over at the Lenny last night? People were climbing up the fence just to watch. Like, it feels like a street ball court to me. And I don't know. I guess I like that vibe. The Lenny's good. The VO is good. I like TLC as well. The laptop is good. We've got some options here. Now we just, got to see how usage plays it out. Because at some point, the people will decide. Whatever everybody's calling it, that's what we're going to call it.
Mm-hmm.
We've presented the options. Let's quit that. Let's hit this.
You like that? You like that?
So there is a graphic going around. It is not a graphic, a screenshot might be the better way to put it. And it is Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold and it's some advanced analytic that it's like OPOE or something. It's plus minus per 60. Like it is an advanced statistic of the greatest variety, right?
Okay.
It's like a long acronym. And it shows Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold were the number 1 and number 2 quarterbacks in week 1. So whatever this
across the entire league.
Across the entire league. Whatever the advanced analytic was, shows that those two were number 1 and number 2. And it's out there essentially to troll Panther fans. And Panther fans are taking the bait. Right?
Of course.
They're upset. They're mad. Oh, so it was us. It wasn't them. Why are they playing better as soon as they leave? On and on and on and on. The fact that Baker and Sam Darnold looked good in week 1, I don't think it says what you think it says about the Panthers. Because what it seems like everybody is taking it as is these guys are good to above average to, $100 million quarterback in Baker's case. And the Panthers were the ones that were the parachute behind them as they run that was holding them back. They were the anchor tied around their leg, which is partially true. But also, the thing that I take away from it is Baker and Sam are both situational. And the Panthers don't need a situational quarterback. It just wasn't a fit.
What do you mean by situational?
Situational is very, I think there are 2 types of quarterbacks. One is situational, one is inevitable. Okay. If you are an inevitable quarterback, doesn't matter who you're drafted by, doesn't matter what your supporting cast looks like, doesn't matter who your coach is, you are inevitably going to find a way for that offense to be successful. If you are situational, and there's varying degrees of situational, there's something else you need in order to be successful. You can't be successful without blank. I've seen plenty of quarterbacks that are situational for offensive line. If I don't have time in the pocket, there's no way I'm going to be successful. So the situation you need is a strong offensive line. I've seen play callers. I've seen where it's like, hey, if I don't have a guy scheming people open or calling quick hitters or whatever it is, I'm not going to be successful. There are situational quarterbacks out there. And NFL history is full of quarterbacks that are okay quarterbacks, solid quarterbacks in great situations. And then those same quarterbacks in bad situations are bad quarterbacks. There's way more of those than there are quarterbacks that are good no matter what. It is very, very, very rare that you find an truly inevitable quarterback. Like if they're not going to Canton, I don't think they should be mentioned. The Panthers don't need a situational quarterback. Mm-hmm. They need the inevitable, or maybe like a better term would be like the revolutionary quarterback, somebody that can lead a revolution. If you look at the teams that go from bottom of the barrel and vault up, usually there is a really good quarterback, like one of the top couple in the league quarterback spearheading that rise. The Texans, from a couple seasons ago to now, C.J. Stroud looks like one of them ones.
Oh, yeah.
He looks like an MVP candidate for a bunch of years to come. Josh Allen in Buffalo took him from like a bananas playoff drought to where they are now. Josh Allen is one of them ones, as they say. Joe Burrow with the Bengals. These are guys that have finished, as the top 2, 3, 4 quarterbacks in the league, or will so very shortly in C.J. Stroud's case. That's what Carolina needs. And they were never going to get that from Baker Mayfield. And they were never going to get that from Sam Darnold. They hoped to get that from Bryce Young, but it's looking less likely by the day. They did get it from Cam Newton.
Oh, yeah.
Cam Newton took a franchise that had fallen on some down years and vaulted them way up. That's the inevitable. That's the revolutionary quarterback that you're looking for, a league MVP. So Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold not working out in Carolina, guess what? There's a bunch of places they wouldn't work out. But if you give Baker Mayfield Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and Tristan Wirfs, if you give him all of that, yeah, he can be pretty good in that situation. Panthers didn't have Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and Tristan Wirfs, and he wasn't as good. Sam Darnold, yeah. You know what Sam Darnold's going to do a lot of this year?
Throw to Justin Jefferson?
Yep. Did the Panthers have a Justin Jefferson?
Nope.
Nope. Are there many Justin Jeffersons out there?
Nope.
Nope. And that might be all Sam Darnold needs, by the way. The whole seeing ghosts thing, he might just need somebody that he's like, all right, I'm seeing ghosts right now. I'm going to throw it to Justin Jefferson no matter what.
That's my teddy bear.
Yeah, exactly. Where's my, what'd they call it in Ted? Thunder Buddy?
Yeah.
Where's my Thunder Buddy? I'm throwing it to Justin Jefferson 3 straight times, and that's going to calm me down. That might be all Sam Darnold needs, but he wasn't going to get that in Carolina. You need your revolutionary quarterback. Let's quit that. Let's hit this.
Got him!
Speaking of watching NFL games, at least, a lot of people tuned in this weekend for Week 1. I know a lot of people may have turned off their televisions watching the Panthers game, but overall, the NFL averaged 21 million viewers per game during the league's opening week, making it the most watched Week 1 on record. And here's the thing. We all know that NFL records or NFL ratings and stuff are always going to be, 47 of the top 50 every single year. We get all that. But the fact that it's still increasing, I think leads to me a couple of things. By the way, it's a 12% increase over last year. I think it's a couple of things. One, sports gambling has a lot more people being like, I just need this guy to score a touchdown. I just need this guy to throw from 50 more yards, whatever it is. I think that has unlocked certainly a lot of it as well. But also the way television consumption is nowadays, the only time really people lock in on TV is for live programming. Because I can record a show and watch it later. I can go on Hulu the next day and maybe catch something or whatever it is. Like, you know what? I'll binge watch that show when I get a chance to get to it. Whereas live sports, this is why networks are paying so much money for live sports. It's because it's the one thing that guarantees is going to bring eyeballs live in the moment.
It is king. NFL content is king. And I mean, 21 million, and that's not, there's some, I don't know what, DirecTV, Disney bickering going on. So
yeah, I think it's also ATT-Uverse as well.
The numbers may have been higher if they weren't not in a whole bunch of households, which is why those the media rights deals for NFL football and high-level college football keep going up and up and up and up because of exactly what you said. It's one of the only times people have to watch it in the moment. If I miss I'm a big The Bear fan. The Bear, the TV show.
Mm-hmm.
If I get busy and I don't watch it for 2 weeks, guess what? I don't watch it for 2 weeks.
Yep.
I'm the only inconvenience it does is occasionally when my friends are talking, I have to go, whoa. Haven't caught up yet.
Yep.
However, if I don't watch Monday Night Football, I'm not going back to it 2 weeks later. It's not like, oh, no. It's like, darn, I missed it. Now I got to go catch up like right now so I can be in conversations.
So that's something to keep an eye on. Like, how does it also carry out throughout the rest of the season? And this, I think, also where the NFL is talking about 18 games. When you see numbers like that, they're like, well, why wouldn't we go to 18? That's more money in our pockets.
True. Very true. And it also means that, hey, Panthers, probably over 21 million people watched whatever that nonsense was that you put it on the field.
Well, I'm wondering as well,
eyeballs.
How much did that game pull the ratings down? That's what I want to know, because I know a lot of people turned that thing off.
Do they know if the people are sitting in front of the screen watching or if they had run to the bathroom to vomit? Or do they just know what's on?
If it's on, it's on.
They just know what's on the screen. So maybe they actually kept a lot of listeners or viewers because they had to go outside and get fresh air after watching 10 minutes of that game.
We're going for a walk.
Yeah, leave it on the screen for the dog. We're going for a walk.
By the way,
bringing the dog walking.
It might be even cheaper to go to a Panthers game, by the way.
Go to a Panthers game than like
in person as opposed to watching it from home, because I think tickets for this Sunday are like $19.
Really?
Yeah. I was checking earlier today.
Low.
And you know what? It's only going to get lower. Home opener.
I hope not.
I'm talking like just for this Sunday. Now, for example, the games against the Chiefs and the Dallas Cowboys, those tickets are still remain very high for if you're going Vivid Seats
Chargers
or SeatGeek.
In Charlotte.
But this Sunday, Chargers in Charlotte, $19 will get you in before fees and all that stuff.
Yeah, but once they beat the Chargers by 25, double back beat Vegas by 30 in the desert, then when the Bengals come home for their second home game, tickets will be $800. And also, then you're going to wake up and realize that was a dream. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Let's quit that. Let's hit one more.
You put a person up on a pinnacle.
A couple pieces of Duke basketball news.
Mm-hmm.
Nolan Smith, former Duke guard, former Duke All-American, national champion, who had been on the coaching staff at Louisville when that staff was parted ways with. Is it still in the flirting stage, or have they committed to each other with him in Memphis?
I think it still might be in the flirting stage. I haven't seen anything official on it. I may have missed that, but he is apparently in talks with Penny Hardaway, who pretty much let go 4 assistants about a week ago. But Nolan Smith would be joining the staff over at Memphis with Penny Hardaway.
That would be, I believe, a coup for Memphis. To get somebody as accomplished and as quality as Nolan Smith and with the experiences that he's had, that late in the game, right? The school's already started. That'd be a pretty – maybe it actually shows that was already in the works because I'm not sure if Penny's moving on from coaches if he doesn't know where he's going to next. And then also Duke news, Jeremy Roach, this is just kind of an interesting deal, who is at Baylor, 4-year starter for Duke basketball, which is pretty rare. Could have been a 5-year starter, maybe. Ended up hitting the transfer portal, going to Baylor. He said he wanted to stay at Duke. But the interesting part is, he wanted to get back to his roots of playing the one, meaning the point guard. Could this be a little bit of a lesson in mess around and find out? Like you can make requests and demands as much as you want, but you might find out what they say no to. Like, I'll stay, but I want to be a point guard. They said, well, not going to be our primary point guard, so... And there's a lot of name, image, and likeness money out there.
Real quick, this is what Jeremy had to say. This is in an interview on the Field of 68 podcast saying, quote, personally, I wanted to stay, but stuff didn't meet up, and it was just my time to go. I did my 4 years, sacrificed a whole lot, and I made the most of it. It was no hard feelings or anything like that. It was all cool. He continued to say it was a mutual, it was kind of like a mutual thing. John Shire already knew what was kind of expected. I made the most of what I did at Duke. It's great getting back to what I do. Ball is in my hands now. I have to make plays for myself and others now.
I hope he has success. I hope Duke has success, as I do all the local teams. Jeremy Roach. It's going to be weird seeing him in a different uniform. There you go. Hit it and quit it. Here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Participating with me in that game was Dennis Cox, and he's got something else for you.
Hey, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. We always hear about preparation, for football games this coming weekend, being prepared, right? Well, guess what? You got to be prepared anytime you get on a motorcycle as well. Something you got to make sure you do. Bike is in proper working order. You have to make sure that your tires, everything is all working properly. You have the proper gear, but also preparation for yourself out there on the road. Have you checked to see if your insurance is up to date? Maybe there's more coverage you can get out there for yourself. But something you can do to be prepared, go to lawtigers.com and go scroll down to their homepage and check out their free rider benefit kit. That's right, free. It's free. Free rider benefit kit. Know what your rights and stuff are before you get out there on the road and know the benefits that Law Tigers provides to you before the potential accident does happen. Because if you are injured in a motorcycle accident, call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS before you call your insurance company. Law Tigers, they know what your bike and your gear are worth and what you're going through after an accident because they're riders too. Your case evaluation is always free, and they do not get paid until your case settles. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Earlier today, I caught up with Mike Glennon, former NC State quarterback and my co-host of the Pack Therapy podcast, which can be found everywhere podcasts can be found. And we not only talked about the state game from Saturday, we also talked a little bit about what Bryce Young is going through with the Panthers. That conversation coming up next right here on 99.9 The Fan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts offers more than just the right parts for your repair. Our professional parts people can also test your battery, install your new wiper blades, and even diagnose your check engine light with O'Reilly VeriScan for free. For the best service, advice, auto parts, and accessories, stop by the new O'Reilly Auto Parts in Whispering Pines on Highway 22 next to Domino's.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Now they have everything they need to come to life. Dell Technologies and Intel are creating technology that loves ideas, loves expanding your business, evolving your passions. We push what technology can do, so great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to Now.
I'm ready for more NFL. What about you? And FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, is continuing this special offer to keep us watching more. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. And then, with a YouTube TV-based plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account, a current form of payment, and you can cancel at any time. You are ready to go. Just visit FanDuel.com/AdamGold and download America's #1 sportsbook. FanDuel.com/AdamGold. Do it now. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Full price of NFL Sunday Ticket will be automatically charged seasonally after free trial. No refunds. Terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has an exclusive rate plan just for you. Right now, get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings versus Verizon and AT&T. Plus, you can get one of the latest 5G phones free when you add a line. That's right, a free 5G phone. Experience all this and more on America's largest 5G network. So why wait? At T-Mobile, customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Just go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 or visit your local store to make the switch.
With AutoPay using debit or bank account plus taxes and fees, 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Free phones up to $300 off with 24 monthly bill credits and qualifying new line for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Contact us before canceling entire account to continue remaining bill credits. Bill credits end if you pay off device early. See details at T-Mobile.com.
Mortgage rates have plummeted, and Loan Pronto clients are locking in the lowest rates we've seen in years. Hey, it's Roger Moore, founder and CEO of Loan Pronto. It's happening. We are finally locking APRs in the 5s, something we haven't seen for a long time. If that sky-high rate is killing you or you need to get cash out of your home equity, now is the time to take action. Or listen, even if you want to keep that first mortgage rate intact, you can take advantage of lower rates with our Equity Express line of credit. We're seeing homeowners take 50, 75, 200 grand or more out of their equity and wiping out that high-interest debt with an average savings of $850 per month. Bottom line, your home value is way up and mortgage rates have come way down, making this a great time to act. Call today for a 30-second rate quote. Do it now, and you can even skip your next 2 mortgage payments. 919-381-1760. 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. 919-381-1760.
Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. NMLS consumeraccess.org.
Train heating and cooling systems are engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit traininfo.com to find your local independent train dealer. It's hard to stop a train.
Here on 99.9 The Fan. Joining us now, friend of the show. We've been talking to him every week throughout the football season. We have Mike Glennon, former NC State quarterback, longtime NFL quarterback. Mike, first of all, everybody, go check out our podcast, Pack Therapy. Mike and I host. When it comes to the state football program, it is covered as in-depth as you can on that podcast. But I do think here on the show, I want a little bit of the Cliff Notes. Between the Panthers and NC State, there's been a lot of like autopsying done from this past week of college football and NFL football, obviously. You were there in attendance for the state Tennessee game in Charlotte. What were your main takeaways?
Yeah, just physically dominated. I thought both sides on the offensive defensive line, Tennessee just looked superior, that they were running the ball really well, and their defensive line dominated NC State in the trenches. So I think from a physicality standpoint, Tennessee looked like the bully, and NC State's going to have to find a way to get things going. Starting this week, but really getting ready for the big matchup next week against Clemson.
We didn't even get to this on the pod, but I did a bit of research getting ready to talk to you, and I wanted to see, what your experience was in college, maybe after a blowout, tough loss, non-conference loss, something like that, and maybe how you reacted moving forward. But it was different. I'm not saying this to blow smoke, but there's a game like the Cincinnati game where your first year as a starter, you guys got taken to the woodshed a little bit as a team. But then I look at it and you had like an 85-yard touchdown pass and a 50-yard touchdown pass, both to TJ Graham. So I think it's a little bit easier in those situations as a quarterback to rally the troops, because even though you got smacked, your quarterback rating was super high. So, you still had your cachet. Non-conference, early season, big loss for Grayson McCall for the team, but obviously Grayson McCall is the quarterback. How do you handle that as a leader if you're Grayson?
Yeah, I had a tough opening game against Tennessee my senior year.
Would have been the next year. Yeah.
Many interceptions, but to your point, I also probably threw for around 300 yards and had a couple of touchdowns. So there was like some positives.
Yeah, there
You're
was.
Still
remember this, not that. Like there's that other thing going on too.
Unfortunately, as time has gone on, I tend to only remember the turnovers. But there at least was something good to take from, where in this game offensively, I mean, outside of getting some third down conversions early in the game, there wasn't a whole lot to be proud of and say this is what we did a good job of. So it is going to be watching that film the next day for the entire offense, because honestly, Grayson McCall is not my biggest concern. I don't think he played great, but I don't think it is all on him at all. I ultimately don't think the interception fell on him. I think it was on the receiver to keep running his route. And all the years I've run kind of the naked slide, the slide route never stops. At the same time, I think Grayson McCall's got to find a way to make that play. You can't just float it up there. So there's a lot to learn from that film. It probably was not fun to watch that next day as a team. But at least it's early in the season, and you got to give these coaches credit that history shows they've adjusted well as the season's gone on.
Is there a worse feeling than knowing you have a really bad interception, like 5 plays into the future, and you're watching film and coaches like going over your footwork on a run play, and you're like, oh yeah,
it's coming.
My left foot is a little bit wide on the handoff. You're right. And in your head, you're just like, get it over with, man. I don't know. Footwork on the run. What are we doing here? Let's get to the interception so I can, rip the Band-Aid off. And there's probably a lot of that for multiple players on State this weekend. But you bring up the Justin Jolie kind of stopping on the route. And we're going to mix in a little Bryce Young here as well, because I want to use your NFL experience. And we're talking with Mike Glennon, former NC State quarterback and NFL quarterback. I want to use your quarterback experience to look at both situations. The thing that I think Bryce Young isn't doing enough of, and this is an opportunity where Grayson McCall could have done it, is cutting their losses, right? If a wide receiver runs a bad route, throw it away, or go to your next guy, throw it at his feet. You see that a lot more in the NFL than you do in college, which I think shows, how experience gets you to a point where you just dump it and move on, right? Yell at the guy on the sideline if you need to. How difficult is it to give up on a play when you're in Grayson McCall's situation or Bryce Young's situation, where you haven't quite proven that you're a really, really good quarterback at the level they're playing?
Yeah, it is hard. I've been the guy definitely that's forced the ball because you're trying to make a play, especially when the team is struggling and you want to get something going and you want to kind of be, I don't want to call it hero ball, but you want to be the guy that gets things going in the right direction. So it's way easier said than done to, throw it away when you've already, maybe thrown it away a couple of times and you keep getting 3 and outs. And I know the Panthers were on the road, but the boo birds start coming in. You just want something to feel good about rather than trotting off like, oh, another 3 and out, back to the bench. Our defense looks exhausted. So it's not as easy as it sounds, but then you kind of look at what happened in the Titans game with Will Levis, and the ultimate, if he just takes the sack, throws it away, doesn't do what he does when he throws a pick six as he's getting dragged to the ground. You can't be having those plays, because that ultimately is the difference between a win and a loss when the Titans defense played great. I mean, Caleb Williams held under 100 yards, but because of one boneheaded play, that can be the difference between the win and the loss.
You and I know really, really, really well how easy it is to sit here on a podcast or sitting here on a radio show and say, like, don't try to force it, because in that moment, that split second, the best quarterbacks occasionally get caught doing it. Transitioning from State in that Tennessee game to more of a Bryce Young and Carolina deal there. Again, there's no nice way to say this. You've been on some bad teams in the NFL. Did you ever know that early, I guess? Because everybody talks about the preseason. Everybody's 0-0. Everyone has hope. Everyone has optimism. Week 1, first defensive drive, Carolina Panthers give up a long touchdown to one of your old teammates, Derek Carr. And then the first offensive play is an interception from Bryce Young. That is a brutal way to start a season and go from all that optimism of the preseason to whatever that is in the regular season.
There's no other way to put it. I mean, it was a brutal start. And as you mentioned, I was on a lot of losing teams. I had 3 teams that we finished last in the league and got the first pick of the draft, which Panthers essentially did last year. But obviously
they didn't have their first. It's almost
pick.
Worse because they didn't have their
but
overall
I can't
first pick.
Ever remember on all those teams that were really bad that we were not even competitive week 1. Like, my second year with the Bucs, Josh McCown was a quarterback. We played the Panthers the first game, almost won it, and then went on to become last place and get Jameis Winston. When I was with the Cardinals, Sam Bradford started the year. We were competitive. When I was with Jacksonville, we won our first game of the year and then proceeded to lose 15 straight. So that was as rough as a first start as I can imagine. Dave Canales working all season. Never, I'm sure, in his wildest nightmares did he think that's the way that game was going to play out.
Did you want your coach, and this will be the last question for you, appreciate you for taking the time. Did you want your coach to show a little fire after bad losses like that? Dave Canales is his brand is he is the most optimistic guy on the planet. Baker Mayfield, who played for him last year in Tampa, called him an optimist bully. Like, he almost forces optimism on you. I felt a little unsatisfied, both post-game and on his early week comments to the media. It was obviously, disappointment. He didn't try to sugarcoat it and say, like, it was a great game, but there was a lot of, I'm excited for the challenge of fixing this. And sometimes I just want my coach to be mad, and I want him to say the players didn't do well, we didn't do well, and we need to fix it.
I think it may be a little premature. Like, I think eventually if they continue on the same path, some point in the season, enough is enough. Yeah. Like, you don't got to be Danny Green. You don't have to, like, we let him off the hook, but I don't know, just a little anger, a little but
spice.
If that's who he is, I don't want him to change who he is because of one game. That I think that optimism that Pete Carroll kind of showed throughout his career. If Seahawks lost the first game week 1, I wouldn't expect him to all of a sudden lose his mind. So I think he's got to stay true to who he is. And then eventually, if that kind of mindset or approach isn't working, then you got to, show the team, look, I am usually Mr. Nice Guy, but eventually enough of this. This makes me upset.
I think one of the best things Pete Carroll did, I think it's underrated, is he could keep, like, the gum in his mouth, but also make it very clear during, like, an interview that he was upset. And maybe that's why he is who he is. Pete Carroll's obviously one of the greats. I think he got it across pretty well when his team played poorly, that he was upset, even if, he still said it with a smirk, and he said it in like a 35-minute interview where he answered every question for 7 minutes.
Right, and maybe that's where the players actually know, they see Dave Canales on a daily basis, so they know who he is. And maybe in his post kind of in the locker room when he's addressing the team, maybe there was a little bit of an edge to him that they hadn't seen before that kind of we weren't privy to. But I think those players will kind of get a sense of it because everyone handles it differently, but they know his personality. And maybe it just comes out in a little bit different way that they're aware that this is kind of a heightened situation.
That's Mike Glennon, former NC State quarterback, friend of the show. Thank you for taking the time, Mike.
Thanks for having me, Tim.
Once again, Mike Glennon. Check out the Pack Therapy podcasts. Me and Mike breaking down state football. You can find it on our YouTube page and everywhere you find podcasts. I believe our episode for this week will drop tomorrow morning about 10 o'clock. So look for that. Right now, Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry, specifically the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location in Raleigh, where they are selling some of the finest watches, the finest timepieces you could possibly imagine. It's a space that not only pays tribute to the early days of Bailey's Fine Jewelry with the aesthetic and the vibe, but also pays tribute to the early days of Bailey's Fine Jewelry with the exquisite selection. They have the largest selection of pre-owned and vintaged Rolexes in North Carolina, in addition to a wide selection of pre-owned timepieces from multiple brands. But the pre-owned and vintage Rolexes, it's the largest selection in North Carolina. They have everything from Hamilton, which is you may have seen in a very, very popular time and space travel movie. They're very well featured there. G-Shocks, which I've talked about, Norcanes, which I've talked about, Nomos, which I've talked about. Basically, if you're a watch person and you like mixing up what's on your wrist, you can find a little bit of everything at Bailey's Fine Jewelry in the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop in the Village District location in Raleigh. If you're a different kind of watch person and you like to go get your grail, your dream watch, and then you keep that on your wrist at all points in time, well, you're also going to have a good chance of finding that watch at the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at the Village District location. Basically, there's someone for every kind of watch person at Fox and Bailey. Just make sure they know you heard about it right here on 99.9 The Fan from me, Tim, when you're there shopping away. We'll take a break. When we come back, the starting five, including some updates from Panthers practice today. Stick around.
Move your sports day forward.
The question begging an answer for the year 2 QBs in the NFL, how are these guys going to make the playmakers around them better? These first couple of games will give us an idea if the reprogramming of Bryce Young and the rehabbing of Indy's Anthony Richardson were successful. And if not, it's not good news. We'll be seeing exit hooks out sooner than later.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union are proud to announce the return of the Coastal Credit Union Scholar Athlete of the Month. For more than 20 years, we have honored over 200 student athletes that are making a difference on their team and in their community. If you are a teacher, parent, coach, or guardian, nominate your Scholar Athlete today. We will select one winner a month to be featured on 99.9 The Fan and on WRAL News Plus. To nominate a winner, text AWARD to 919-860-5326. That's AWARD to 919-860-5326.
Congrats to last year's winners. Emma Penkunas of Holly Springs High School, Connor O'Toole of Athens Drive, Kenzie Smith of Fuquay Verena, Patience Ifadon of South Garner High, Carrie Ellen Bryan of Southern Lee, Carson Parker, Apex Friendship, Jason Howard of Wakefield High School, and Eric Stoll of Green Level. We also want to thank all of our other local schools who nominated a student: Apex Friendship, Jordan Matthews, Northwood, Green Hope High, Willow Springs, Jacksonville High, South Granville, Cleveland High, Riverside, and South Johnston.
This is Creighton Blackwell with Coastal Credit Union, and I would like to offer my sincerest thanks to every school that nominated a student for this year's award. This award is more than a celebration of exceptional athletes. It's also a celebration of the schools and the communities that helped them grow into the incredible leaders that we like to celebrate.
Congratulations to all of our Coastal Credit Union Scholar Athletes of the Month. If you want to nominate a high school athlete, text AWARD to 919-860-5326.
It's bow time. It's not just football season. It's tailgate season, and that includes every kind of football, whether it's got goalkeepers or goalposts. The kick is good! Because it doesn't matter where or how you tailgate. When you've got crispy chicken and fluffy buttermilk biscuits from Bojangles, your tailgate is better than great. It's legendary. Head to Bojangles and order your tailgate box with boldly seasoned chicken, fixins, biscuits, and legendary iced tea today. It's bow time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's bow time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go! It's bow time.
Baseball fans, BetMGM is giving you the chance to win a prize every day during baseball season. Step into the batter's box for BetMGM's Swing for the Fences free-to-play game. Pick an area of the strike zone and take your best swing. If you get a single, double, triple, or home run, you'll receive a prize. Smash a home run to collect a bonus bet on us. I'm Victoria Vodnecker here for BetMGM, and you just need to log into your BetMGM Sports account to get started. Then visit your promotions section to access the Swing for the Fences free-to-play game. You'll score a prize if you hit a single, double, triple, or home run. There's nothing more exciting than going yard, so swing for the fences with the sportsbook born in Vegas. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only, North Carolina only. Existing customer offer subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary depending on market and expire 21 hours from issuance. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, Raleigh's injury lawyers.
Bounces away into the end zone. Touchdown!
Visit GotBrian.com.
That's GotBrian.com. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRAL meteorologist Mike Mays. Our upper-level clouds will thicken up tonight, becoming mostly cloudy. It's milder, 60 the low. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy. We'll call it our last comfortable day with dew points in the 50s. Later in the day, our high temperature up to about 81.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock, check your money. Dow Jones up 124 points today to 40,861. Market update brought to you by Zero Res. Kick football season off with a deal this month from Zero Res. 3 rooms of carpets clean starting at $119 and 25% off your air duct cleaning. Visit ZeroResRaleigh.com. Again, ZeroResRaleigh.com.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting 5.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we jump into the starting 5 quickly here, I know, and I say this often, and I try to make it true all the time. You come to sports as an escape from the seriousness of the real world, as they say. But it does, there's a few days out of the year I feel like we can take a few minutes and reflect on some things. This is obviously the anniversary of 9/11, September 11th. And I think it's appropriate that since we do have a platform and we do have such a wide-ranging community here that thankfully listens to our show, I think it's appropriate just to reflect real quickly, and then we can get back to the sports escape of it all. But, just like on 9/11, you can't always escape everything. The way I try to talk about it, and I completely am of the belief that it is not about me, it's not about us, it's about the victims, their surviving families, the first responders. Like, those are the people that should be the focus on a day like today. But also, I'll say this: it did affect everybody. It's at the time I was growing up, obviously as a kid, I was in elementary school in New Jersey. So New Jersey, obviously very close to New York. I didn't personally have a close relationship with anyone that was in the towers, but it seemed like everybody I knew did. It was always like a great uncle that I hadn't met or a friend's dad that I hadn't met. There was so many connections. And I think that's kind of what that type of attack and terrorism does. It just makes it so everyone is impacted in some way, and it took a bunch of heroic efforts to get out of there or to move on from it, and not move on, obviously never forget, but to get to a place where we weren't afraid, and then we weren't terrified of every time getting on a plane and everything else. So the first responders, the victims, the victims' families, those that are still going through life without somebody that they hold near and dear, we're thinking about you not just today but every day. And I'm proud of the response that everybody showed, our society showed back then, and continue to show now. Again, no easy transitions after that. So let's just go ahead and plow through and jump onto our starting five.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Panthers practice earlier today.
Yep.
Some updates from there. There's been some comments made after practice. Dennis, what are we looking at as far as updates from the practice injuries and everything else?
So Tommy Tremble was back at practice, still considered limited, but he's dealing with both a back and hamstring injury, but he was in full pads today, which is a great sign to get Tommy Tremble possibly back. Jadeveon Clowney did not practice today. Dave Canales said sore ankle, like just kind of, you know what, let's not push you through.
Maybe a little erring on the side of caution.
Rode the bike. He's like just general soreness from having played the game on Sunday.
He's in his 30s now. Every once in a while you wake up and, slept on it funny.
It hurts.
Especially when you played an NFL game a couple days ago.
Johnny Hecker did not practice today. Back injury for the punter.
That's a weird one.
I know. Not sure what happened in the course of the game. Maybe he made a tackle that we was in on, but he's used
Maybe
a lot.
Slept on it funny.
He's used a lot because,
True.
But it is something Dave Canales said they're going to monitor during the week in case they have to bring in like a punter on an emergency basis. A couple names that were added as well to the injury report. They were limited today. Robert Hunt, offensive lineman, shoulder injury. Damian Lewis, offensive lineman, groin injury, both limited today. But that's really about it.
Yeah, that's a lot of that. The Hecker one, Johnny Hecker, the punter, is a weird one. And I'm having never been a punter, never been nearly flexible enough to kick anything very far. Bad hammies. I don't know, is like a golf swing or something, if your back is messed up, it's like you're donezo. Punter, there's not as much rotation, but I still think your back has to be a big part of it.
It's core of your body.
Yeah, so I don't know, upper, lower back, I don't get that one. Everything else sounds like, you're playing an NFL season. Guys are a little sore, they want to take it easy on a Wednesday. That doesn't concern me much until you get to, Thursday, Friday practices. If they're still being held out of most drills, you start getting concerned. But the veterans, having a little soreness, that doesn't really strike me as anything bad. One clip I did see from Canales after practice.
Yep.
Starting Bryce Young. So put all those things to bed. There will be no benching of Bryce Young, at least not this week. He said it's, you gotta play to learn, and Bryce Young's gonna play. What else you have for us? Is there anything there?
That's really it. Canales did say, as of now, not planning to work out any punters. I'm talking about Johnny Hecker, but they have a list if they need to.
Beautiful. That's number 5. Let's jump to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
Number 4 is all 7 of North Carolina's, meaning the state's, FBS, Football Bowl subdivision teams will be playing within the state's borders this weekend. Everybody's playing in the state of North Carolina. NC State will be hosting Louisiana Tech. UNC will be hosting North Carolina Central. Duke will be hosting UConn. ECU will be hosting App State. Wake Forest will be hosting Ole Miss. And Charlotte will be hosting Gardner-Webb. That is a celebration of college football in our state. I just think it's cool. I mean, it's kind of a fun fact. It's one of those things that just, yeah, all right. Like, I don't know what you're supposed to do with it, but
go to games. That's what you're supposed to do.
It would be cool if there was somebody that was going to try to make it to all 7 or something. If there was, I guess you'd have to do one Thursday, one Saturday afternoon, one later Saturday afternoon. You'd have to be a Sunday and a Monday game. I don't know how you do it. You need to get the Maction involved, but it would be cool if you could, or actually it'd probably be easier on a week when State and UNC are playing. Maybe Duke and Wake, State and UNC play at the same weekend, and then you could kill 2 birds with one stone at a few different places. But either way, there's really good college football in the area. I know we always get tagged as the center of the college basketball world, and rightfully so. But don't sleep on the football that's played in our state.
I'll be at ECU App State this Saturday. I'm pumped for that. It's a 4:00 kick out there at Dowdy-Ficklin.
I plan on being at a college football game in the state of North Carolina that is not on this list.
Oh, Davidson Wildcats? Shout out to the Wildcats.
NCAA hosting my Delaware Blue Hens.
Okay.
So they'll be down here. We're working on setting that up to bring the fam nice little college football game. I encourage you to do the same. Pick a game, whichever one it is. Go check it out. There's a couple that are going to be great. App State at ECU. The atmosphere will be really fun. Ole Miss at Wake. Ole Miss brings some star power. One of the top teams in the country.
Ole Miss going to travel.
There's going to be some fun atmosphere, so go ahead and check them out.
Yeah, and all the Triangle teams are at home as well.
Yep. Yes, they are.
All the Triangle
Louisiana
teams
Tech at State, NC Central at UNC, and UConn at Duke. That UConn-Duke, I think that should be a rivalry. I think it's played every year, football and basketball.
The winner of the football game gets the home court for basketball, and the winner of the basketball game gets home field for the football game.
Love it. Try to keep that the entire thing going. It just seems like they're two schools that make sense playing each other. There's a Hurley on the other sideline. You know what I mean? That's number 4. Let's go ahead and jump to number 3. The NFL. This is. We should just like record this segment and play it back every couple of weeks.
Yeah.
The NFL has set another ratings record.
What?
Averaged 21 million viewers per game during the league's opening weekend, making it the most watched week 1 on record. Reading an ESPN article here for you. The league and Nielsen said Wednesday morning, that's this morning, that the per-game average on TV and digital platforms was up 12% increase over last year. Nielsen began electronic measurement back in 1988. This is the most watched week 1 going back at least to 1988. There were fewer channels. There weren't as many other streaming options. There weren't as many other entertainment options in 1988, yet they're still cranking out viewership. You want another crazy stat about the NFL and how gosh darn popular it is?
Hit me.
All told, 123 million people saw at least part of one game. That's the highest opening week since 2019. Which, just to put that in perspective, is a decent amount over a third of the people in the United States.
Yeah.
Saw at least part of one game.
It's kind of crazy to think, is because obviously we're wrapped up in it, being sports fans. Is that as popular as the NFL is, we're still looking at basically 1/3 of the people watching it.
I mean, I
only
think that's
one of
unbelievable.
3.
I think what NFL football specifically does better than any other sport, this isn't a knock on any other sport, it's just something that the NFL does really well, is become somewhat relevant to people that aren't diehards. Like we all know people that watch every Canes game, or they watch every Twins game, or they're diehard Heat fans, and like they're always going to be there. The NFL somehow reaches like another group of people that, well, I'm not really a sports fan, but you know, I did watch the Panthers the other day. Or I did watch the Chiefs the other day. Maybe it's a Taylor Swift effect. I don't know what it is, but they do a really good job of broadening just to one more tier. And maybe it's the gambling thing, maybe it's fantasy football thing, maybe it's some of the other celebrities that co-sign. But the NFL does a really good job of that. That's how you end up with 123 million catching at least part of a game in one weekend.
It's all about how you reach the casual fan.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Your diehards are going to be there. It's all about how you reach your casual fan.
It's the baseball thing, right? Everybody's going to win 60 games. Everybody's going to lose 60 games. It's what you do with those other 60 that decide whether you're the best team in the league or the worst team in the league. There are a certain amount of people that are going to watch every NFL game regardless. You know, I'm in that group. There's also a group that's not going to watch every NFL or any NFL game regardless. They don't have a TV in their house. Like they're no.
Some just don't care.
It's how well you reach that middle section that decides whether you're the king of all sports in popularity or scraping and clawing for, television rights deals. Still, record's broken, and they'll break it again in a couple of weeks. They seem to always. As number 3, let's jump to number 2.
Just the two of us.
1 month from today.
Wild.
The Carolina Hurricanes open their regular season schedule. That is hard to wrap your head around.
1 month from today, we'll be at the Lenovo Center.
Lenovo Center.
The Lenny. The big LC.
The laptop. The formerly known as PNC Arena.
Mm-hmm.
It is sneaking up on you, right? I try to pride myself on not being surprised by calendars. I get very, very, it's like a pet peeve. It's like nails on a chalkboard when someone goes like, can you believe they're halfway through September? I'm like, well, yeah, I was there at the beginning of September, and usually what comes next is the middle of September. So I try to stay up and not be surprised by calendars. But I will say, Dennis today said, hey, 30 days until Canes. And I went, preseason? Regular? Like, it can't be regular season. So, needless to say, I fell for my own pet peeve, and I am surprised by the calendar. It seems soon. So, let's hear from Rod Brindamore. He was on Next Up with Paul Ihander, our program director, and also hosts Next Up every morning from 9 to 10 right here on 99.9 The Fan. And he was asked about the goal for this team as they move forward and transition from last year.
It's obviously the goal. That's been that every year, and it'll continue to be. You know, even if we had won, that's the goal every year you're coming in. I mean, otherwise, what are you doing, of course? So we're, you mentioned it. We have a new group, but we've done that in the past too, or we've, changed the lineup over a little bit. But the core pieces are still intact, and we're excited about the new guys we brought in, and obviously, we're always excited with the guys that we've kept here for a long time.
The goal remains the same: Stanley Cup. Why would you change it? There were changes this offseason, don't get me wrong. Some guys that have been around for a while will no longer be around, but there's enough guys still around to make you go, oh, no, the expectations don't move. They don't change. To use a Mike Tomlin Pittsburgh Steelers statement, the standard is the standard. The standard doesn't change. You change to meet the standard. And for the Carolina Hurricanes, that standard under Rod Brindamore should be Stanley Cup. And it should not change. So I like that answer. More with Rod Brindamore, head coach of the Canes, on Next Up, talking about some of the new guys and what they have to do to fit into the locker room.
I think we can all identify quality players, skill players, role players, whatever, but there's still a fit, and that comes into just digging in a little more and finding out what kind of people they are. And, we really try really hard. I mean, everyone does. They say that, but it's finding those guys that fit the locker room and do little things right. And, we're the ultimate team sport, I think, and there's a lot of sacrifice that goes into that. So finding the right individuals is really, really important. And, that's, I think, why we have had a lot of familiar faces stick around for so long, is because we know what kind of great people they are, and we do our best to retain them.
Fit into that locker room. It is a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy in that respect, and it's a cycle that just keeps building upon itself, because so unanimously across the league, the Canes have such a great culture that when you are brought in, you really don't want to be the one that upsets it, right? If suddenly there's bad energy in the room, it's not from the guys that have been around, because they've had a great culture. Everybody wants to be there, and guys like playing there. So, you want to fit in. It's almost like you force your way into fitting in. You don't want to step on toes, which isn't always the best. Sometimes I think that slows down the assimilation process because you're so worried about stepping on toes. But, yeah, if we've seen anything, it's guys can come in. Sometimes there's a 15-20 game buffer, particularly for defensemen. But once you get past that buffer, everybody seems to understand what the expectations are. 1 month to real regular season NHL action for the Carolina Hurricanes.
I think it's 2 weeks from yesterday's their first preseason game.
Again, that would make sense.
Let's go.
Speaking of 2 weeks, that's number 2. Let's get to number 1. They'll be playing their games inside the formerly known as PNC Arena. Looks like the name will be the Lenovo Center. That's what NHL. What is the name of the video game?
Just NHL 25.
NHL 25 kind of leaked in a promo video.
Mm-hmm.
Lenovo Center. There is signage that it was being covered up, but the wind blew some of the covers off, and it said Lenovo outside the arena. So we're expecting it to be the Lenovo Center, or the Lenovo Dome, or the Lenovo Arena. Lenovo something. It also came with, and today we were made privy to or made aware of some renderings for the improvements that will be taking place outside of what we're expecting to be called the Lenovo Center and Carter Finley Stadium. And what I have to say is it looks pretty awesome. Looks pretty darn cool. I give the Centennial Authority, the planning committees credit for coming up with what looks like a fairly awesome version of an entertainment district surrounding a few stadiums that host very important games and concerts. What I will also say is I've seen across the country promises made on entertainment districts, and they end up maybe once the cost is realized and it might be more prohibitive and you realize how much money you have to raise to make it awesome, it looks a little less awesome. So I'm going to be excited, but I'm also not going to be surprised if all of the tailgate balconies don't end up as sweet and they end up maybe looking more like, normal balconies.
I think those tailgate balconies, if you go on WRAL Sports Fan to check out, you can see the pictures and everything. I think those tailgate balconies and tailgate suites and that kind of grass area between the two parking decks that they're planning on putting up there right outside of the Lenovo Center in Carter Finley is kind of like a compromise for like, hey, look, we know we're taking tailgating and parking spots away. Here's a space where you can still have that. Like, things are going to have to adjust. Things are going to be different, but it feels like it's kind of a compromise.
Which, by the way,
I'm okay with that.
I appreciate the effort. Part of it does feel like, no. Like, what I'm trying to think of a good analogy here. The first high school I went to, did you have senior skip day?
We did, but I wasn't allowed to do it because we had a lacrosse game that day, and if we had skipped, we weren't allowed to play.
Fair.
So I was like one of 12 seniors in school that day.
That's how senior skip day should be, though.
Yeah.
It's like you kind of rebel and take a skip day, and you go to the beach or wherever you go, and you have a good time. Our senior skip day at my first high school, the school threw. They got a house that was an alumni's house on the beach. This was in Hawaii, where I grew up, if that's surprising you. And like the teachers would chaperone like pie eating contests, and it was like, which is fun, but also part of it is like, no, part of senior skip day is the teachers have no idea it's happening, right? One day they show up to class and there's only 12 of them there, and it's just like, oh man, you're rebelling. You can't get bussed on school buses to senior skip day with like a permission slip signed by your parents. Part of tailgating is it's out of the back of your car, and you bring everything in a cooler. We were talking with Brian Murphy, WRAL Sports investigative reporter, who wrote the article that we directed you to on WRALSportsFan.com. And he said, they're going to have couches and some are going to have refrigerators. I'm like, well, then that's not tailgating. Part of tailgating is you pack everybody up into the biggest SUV one of you drives because you only paid for the one parking space. You throw the cornhole boards in there. You bring the can jam, the one football that you have, and you get the food, the coolers, everything, and you drive out there and you do it. It can't be too chaperoned. It can't be like, let's go to our third floor tailgating balcony that's already catered. All we have to do is bring ourselves. However, I do respect the effort that they're trying to reach across the reaching the olive branch out. I do like that they're understanding that you're taking away a bunch of tailgating areas and there's going to be some displaced people pregame. I appreciate the effort, but change is always dangerous. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we get our numbers game contestants, I have a few rhetorical questions for you. Wouldn't it be great to have an income in retirement that you never have to worry about being taken away from you? Tim Donnelly here for Capital Financial Advisory Group. That's one question. What about this one? Wouldn't it be great to have an income that did not depend on the stock market success for your success? To have a plan that is designed to maximize your lifetime income? Well, if you answered yes to any of those rhetorical questions, you might not know what a rhetorical question is if you answered. But that's details that we don't worry about. The details we do worry about are that Capital Financial Advisory Group can make all of those things come to life for you. You can make it a reality with the help of Coach Pete and the fiduciary planning team at Capital Financial Advisory Group. Coach Pete will make sure that your plan is reviewed, analyzed, and seal it with his famous Coach Pete's stamp of approval. Make sure you get the second opinion you deserve if you think you like where your retirement planning is going, or if you want to get it on track and make sure you're on track in your retirement planning. They can also set you up with a complete and total customized retirement plan. It's all happening at Capital Financial Advisory Group, and if you call in the number I'm going to give you here in a second and say you heard about it right here from me, Tim, on 99.9 The Fan, not only will you get the $1,000 value to use on your very own total and customized retirement plan, you'll also get Coach Pete's 7 Baby Steps box set for free. So go ahead and give him a call. Here's the number I promised you, 800-691-3215. Tell him you heard about it from Tim on 99.9 The Fan. Or if you're more of a texter than a caller, that's fine. Text my name, Tim, to 600-700, and they'll know what that means. The number to call, 800-691-3215. Or text Tim to 600-700. Now let's go ahead and grab those numbers game contestants. We have a pair of tickets to see Stained and Breaking Benjamin with Daughtry at Coastal Credit Union Music Park on Saturday, September 21st, so in about 10 days from now. If you want to play the numbers game, you want to win the pair of tickets, you got to call in now. We need 2 contestants, 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326 for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Stained and Breaking Benjamin. Numbers game coming up next.
We're kicking it this fall with college football. Join 99.9 The Fan all season long and catch your favorite teams in action. The ACC, the SEC, and every conference that matters. You'll find the best matchups here.
Carolina wins it 47-45 in double overtime.
College football on 99.9 The Fan is brought to you by Wake Men, Sammy's Tap and Grill, and Roofworks.
The new bonus edition Buck Scratch-Off's got a first-ever bonus game in the Outback.
You mean on the back, not Outback.
What's on the back?
The bonus game.
Then what's on the front?
Prizes up to $1 million.
I thought the game was called Bucks.
It is. Just forget it.
Crikey, mate. Don't go telling people to forget it. The whole point is for them to be remembering it.
The all-new bonus edition Buck Scratch-Offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 3.81 to 4.75. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win, breakaway, pick six, three-point shot, underdog win, buzzer beater, shootout, walk-off, and absolutely every play in between is amazing. From football to basketball and hockey to baseball, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus only.
Hootie fans, get ready. Hootie and the Blowfish, Summer Camp with Trucks Tour 2024. Friday, September 13th, Coastal Credit Union Music Park Raleigh. Hootie and the Blowfish, together again. With special guests, Collective Soul and Edwin McCain. On sale now at LiveNation.com. A night of all the hits with Hootie and the Blowfish. Part of the Mattress Warehouse concert series.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu.
Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
This is an announcement to all United States vehicle owners who own a 2003 or newer vehicle with a manufacturer's warranty about to expire, or no warranty coverage at all. With a struggling economy and the cost of living on the rise, Endurance is now offering an affordable, low-cost vehicle coverage plan to the general public. As of today, you could be one of millions of drivers that now may qualify to have your vehicle protected under this coverage and have all future covered auto repairs paid directly to the repair shop for you. You pick your plan. You pick your deductible. You even pick the repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental coverage is included. Get your vehicle protected now and save your wallet from costly vehicle repairs. A toll-free number has been established for you to call for your free 5-minute quote and to see if you qualify. The number to call is 800-298-9383. 800-298-9383. Again, that's 800-298-9383. Coverage, deductibles, and claims may vary. For details, go to endurancewarranty.com.
This September, Diamonds Direct's ultimate offer is back, stronger than ever. Diamonds Direct helps you get the perfect jewelry gift with 0% interest. That's right. Enjoy 5 years of 0% financing on any Diamonds Direct purchase. It's your chance to get her the perfect ring with 0 interest and comfortable monthly payments that fit your budget. But act fast. This offer ends September 30th. For details and more, visit diamondsdirect.com. Spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest on approved credit. Only at Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
It's truck season at Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. Get yourself a brand new 2024 Chevy Silverado 1500 with a combined discount of up to 15% off. Or just 5.9% interest for 84 months with a 9% combined discount when you trade in a 2013 or newer vehicle. See dealer for discounts and details. Chevrolet, together let's drive. Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford. Visit in person today or online at wilkinsoncars.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. A portion of the show where I get to pretend I am a game show host. Today on the phone lines, getting ready to compete, we have Alex and Fuquay and Ben and Clayton. They'll be the contestants. They'll be playing for a pair of tickets to see Stained and Breaking Benjamin with Daughtry at Coastal Credit Union Music Park on Saturday, September 21st. Alex and Fuquay, are you there? Yes?
Yep,
Did I hear yes there? All right. I couldn't hear you clearly, but now I can. The question that we'll ask to see who gets to go first. Let's see. Dennis, you're going to be the judge. He just jumped in my headset and said something. Things you would change in North Carolina? Is that the
kind of like our
all right,
platform.
There we go. I know where we're going with this. Alex and Fuquay, the question to see who gets to go first is, if you were running for North Carolina sports president, right? We created a new office and you're running for election. What would be the number one thing on your campaign promises? What's your platform to be the state of North Carolina sports president?
Man, we were just talking about tailgating, so I would say there's got to be a national or state tailgating day.
Not bad. Naming a holiday. It's a good way to use your power. So, all right, sit on hold. We'll see if that's the answer that Dennis ends up choosing. Ben and Clayton, we go to you, and the same question. You're running for elected office of our brand new created position, state of North Carolina sports president. What is your main campaign promise or your main platform?
Baseball team.
Another good answer. Dennis, you are the judge as always. Are you going with national or statewide tailgate day, new holiday, or bring a Major League Baseball team to North Carolina?
This is a tough one.
It is.
This is a real tough. They're very different. This one makes it very difficult. I would say national tailgate or statewide tailgate day. I think statewide tailgate day is something that everyone can participate in. If you just put a Major League Baseball team, it's harder for people to get to one spot, but everyone across the state can do tailgate day. I'm going to go tailgate day.
Both good answers, though. Alex
Great
and Fuquay, you get to go first. Ben and Clayton, sit on the line. You'll have your chance. Alex, are you there?
Yep, I'm ready.
All right, the categories for you to choose from are NFL players born in New York, NFL players born in Virginia, NBA current players only, or NHL Canes and Whalers only?
NHL Canes and Whalers only.
I like it. Confident. I'll give you the team and the player. You give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. You have one pass if you need it. I will say the team, even though we know what the team is in this category, simply to keep it fair with the other categories. Any questions before we get started?
Nope, ready to go.
All right, your time will start when you hear the horn. Jalen Chatfield, Carolina Hurricanes.
15.
Incorrect. Chad LaRose, Carolina Hurricanes.
52.
Incorrect. Jalen Chatfield, Carolina Hurricanes.
17.
Incorrect. Chad LaRose, Carolina Hurricanes.
54.
Incorrect. Jalen Chatfield, Carolina Hurricanes.
Oh my God, why am I blanking on that? 13.
Incorrect. Chad LaRose, Carolina Hurricanes.
57.
Incorrect. Jalen Chatfield, Carolina Hurricanes.
Oh my God, that was terrible.
So we would have accepted two different numbers for Jalen Chatfield. He's worn 2. The first, I would say lesser known, is 64. The one that I think you were close on because you went 15 first was number 5. He wears number 5 for the Canes.
Yeah.
Chad LaRose, 59. Number 59 during his time with the Canes. So you were in the right neighborhood there, just never got to the right number. That is an offer. However, by way of going first, if there is a double offer, you end up winning by way of tie. So stay on the line. We'll see if it holds up. That brings us to Ben and Clayton. Ben and Clayton, are you there?
Yes, sir.
All right, the remaining categories for you to choose from are NFL players born in New York, NFL players born in Virginia, or NBA current players only.
We'll do NFL players born in New York.
All right. The way this works, I give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. 1 pass if you need it. You need at least 1 for the win. Any questions?
Yes, sir.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Rob Gronkowski, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Buccaneers. Pass.
Saquon Barkley, New York Giants.
That's not right.
Well, what'd you say?
10.
Incorrect. Daryl Johnston, Dallas Cowboys.
24.
Incorrect. Rob Gronkowski, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
12.
Incorrect. Saquon Barkley, New York Giants.
Oh, my gosh. 8.
Incorrect. Daryl Johnston, Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right. Not our best showing as a unit here. Rob Gronkowski with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 87. Saquon Barkley with the New York Giants, 26. Daryl Johnston, the Moose, with Dallas Cowboys, number 48. You didn't get any of them, so unfortunately you are not the winner, but hopefully you had some fun.
Yeah, no worries, man. Thank you.
Appreciate it. That means Alex and Fuquay with a score of 0 wins on a tiebreaker. Congratulations.
Hey, thanks, guys.
A win is a win. You don't give them back.
Yeah, I'll take it.
You win a pair of tickets to see Stained Breaking Benjamin with Daughtry at Coastal Credit Union Music Park on Saturday, September 21st. Go ahead and sit on the line, and Dennis will get the info he needs from you to make sure you get your tickets.
Sweet. Thanks, guys.
Of course. Not our best showing there.
Ow.
Not our best showing. It's one thing. Every once in a while you get an offer, like somebody goes 0 for all of their chances. But you look at, right, like these, the difficulty levels vary. It's completely random. You get to pick your categories. So obviously we don't set anything up. But sometimes you look at it and you go, you know what? I can see how someone might pick NFL and not get those. Like Daryl Johnston, I think, was a tough one. However, Gronk and Saquon, Jalen Chatfield being one of the options in the Canes. I always think if you pick the Canes category, you're going to do at least pretty well with the current players. So getting a current player right out the gate was, I don't want to pile on because I know it's, those two contestants are our listeners and we're very grateful. And I know they're probably sitting there going, gosh, I always get them right. And then I get on air and it's live and my brain freezes. So it's, it happens to everybody. But I'd be lying if I said that Wednesday showing wasn't a little painful, just a little bit.
But hey, they had good ideas in terms of what they will run on for North Carolina sports president. I'm not gonna lie, Alex, with the statewide tailgate day, I think that should be a thing.
Yeah, could be this weekend, Saturday. All college football teams are playing inside the state of North Carolina. Just make it so it's tailgating has to be open 8 hours before, and everybody gets to tailgate all day.
8 hours before.
8 hours.
8 hours.
An 8-hour tailgate, that's not that long. Pace yourself. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
By the way, Micah, who listens to the show, Micah has won the numbers game. He's gone 5 for 5. Loves selecting the Canes as his category. Was on our YouTube live chat and said, wow, bro was very confident on Canes and got 0.
He did he did choose the category with some.
Yeah, he did. He's like, oh, Canes.
Some firm wordage.
Canes.
And then Jalen Chatfield tripped him up. The drive.
I'm like, I thought that was a gimme right there. I'm like, oh, Chatty, 5. Let's go.
Normally, the current players, if you pick that category, you know the current players. Normally. But this time wasn't. Again, that's probably just nerves, right? The bright lights. You're on air.
It happens.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Dennis, what do you got?
Hey, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Loan Pronto. Great news for your homeowners out there. Mortgage rates are tanking. My friends at Loan Pronto have rates that start with a 4. This is the best rate in years, folks. And listen, if your current rate is over 6%, you can dump it and lower your house payment big time. Loan Pronto has locked in folks recently at 4.99% APR. Now, whether you got your loan last week, last month, or even last year, it's time to call Loan Pronto. Even if you're in process with another lender, stop now. Call Loan Pronto and ask about their zero-cost rate reduction home loan. You can lock in a lower rate with no closing costs in a matter of days with almost no paperwork and usually no appraisal. And if you act now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. So call now. Loan Pronto can give you a rate quote in a matter of minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. On approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. When we come back, Mack Brown, why is he uniquely suited or should be uniquely suited to guide the Tar Heels the rest of this way this season with some creative options? I'll tell you why next.
O'Reilly Auto Parts can help take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Stop by the new O'Reilly Auto Parts in Whispering Pines on Highway 22 next to Domino's.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
It's bow time. It's not just football season. It's tailgate season. And that includes every kind of football, whether it's got goalkeepers or goalposts.
The kick is good!
Because it doesn't matter where or how you tailgate. When you've got crispy chicken and fluffy buttermilk biscuits from Bojangles, your tailgate is better than great. It's legendary. Head to Bojangles and order your tailgate box with boldly seasoned chicken, fixins, biscuits, and legendary iced tea today. It's bow time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's bow time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's bow time.
This is an announcement to all United States vehicle owners who own a 2003 or newer vehicle with a manufacturer's warranty about to expire or no warranty coverage at all. With a struggling economy and the cost of living on the rise, Endurance is now offering an affordable, low-cost vehicle coverage plan to the general public. As of today, you could be one of millions of drivers that now may qualify to have your vehicle protected under this coverage and have all future covered auto repairs paid directly to the repair shop for you. You pick your plan. You pick your deductible. You even pick the repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental coverage is included. Get your vehicle protected now and save your wallet from costly vehicle repairs. A toll-free number has been established for you to call for your free 5-minute quote and to see if you qualify. The number to call is 800-298-9383. 800-298-9383. Again, that's 800-298-9383. Coverage, deductibles, and claims may vary. For details, go to endurancewarranty.com.
Timmy, everybody. Great job. Next up for our 5th grade class recital, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high-stress performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through December 28th, Castrol Edge and Edge High Mileage Motor Oil are on rollback at Walmart.
Claim based on sequence 9 test under high-load conditions versus API SP test limits.
Hey, everybody. Paul Ihander from 99.9 The Fan for FanDuel. I'm ready for more NFL, and FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, is continuing its special offer to keep us watching more. Now, through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then, with your YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account, a current form of payment, and you can cancel anytime. But I need you to head on over to FanDuel.com/Paul, Paul with a capital P, and download America's #1 sportsbook. 21 plus and present in North Carolina. Full price of NFL Sunday ticket will be automatically charged seasonally after free trial. No refunds. Terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
At the Home Depot, we know you can't control everything, like when your guests arrive too early for Saturday college football. But you can control your grill. With the Traeger Timberline XL, you can watch the game, not the grill. Monitor your football feast from anywhere using the Traeger app. With the Timberline XL, you can bake, smoke, sear, fry, and saute. That's Desmond Howard-level versatility.
Huddle up. The food's done.
Defend your game time with Traeger and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
At the UPS Store, we understand the importance of a first impression. That's why we're here to help you put your best foot forward and be unstoppable with our printing services. With high-quality paper stock options, banners, business cards, menus, and more, we make sure your small business stands out and your message reaches the masses. After all, we're the one-stop prints that pop store. Most locations are independently owned. Products, services, prices, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS Store. Be unstoppable. Come into your local store today and get your print on.
Kick football season off with a deal this month from Zero Res. 3 rooms of carpets cleaned starting at $119 and 25% off your air duct cleaning. Visit ZeroResRaleigh.com. Again, ZeroResRaleigh.com.
This is The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. We're getting ready to have a UNC football conversation. But if you want an NC State football conversation, just got to wait a little bit. 7 o'clock right here, 99.9 The Fan, Wolfpack Weekly. You'll hear from Dave Doran and obviously a whole bunch of insights into state football. In the meantime, here, let's get to a Carolina, a UNC football conversation. Mack Brown, sometimes I think he just gets like the experience, the legendary status gets overlooked a bit. Maybe because a lot of his legendary experience didn't happen at UNC. It was in the interim when he spent all those years at Texas. But there's 3 active coaches in college football that have won a national championship. It's Dabo Swinney, it's Kirby Smart, and it's Mack Brown. And that's it. So we talk a lot about how UNC is going to navigate this season, right? The injury to Max Johnson, bringing up Connor Harrell, rallying around him. Do you have to rally around him? What else does he bring to the offense? Kamen Rucker, injured, tweaked something lifting. Omarion Hampton in the lineup, out of the lineup this past game. There's a lot going on. Mack Brown has the experience to handle all of that adversity that UNC is facing this year. And sometimes you just have to think about it, right? It's one of those weird stats where you learn like Betty White, Martin Luther King Jr., and Anne Frank were like all born in the same year, and you got to sit back and go like, really? I think those are the 3 that are always involved, and there's one other person that sometimes is thrown in there, but I forget who. Mack Brown. Let's say this year he looks at his quarterback Connor Harrell and goes, he's a young guy. Maybe we're not ready to throw the whole offense on him. But we have this Omarion Hampton running back who is ready to carry a massive amount of responsibility. Most coaches then have to go to their offensive coordinator and they try to draw up an offense and try to come up with a way to make that happen. Mack Brown could go, what did we do when we had Ricky Williams at running back and some guy named James Brown at quarterback when we were at Texas? Let's go build off of that. What did we do when we had Jamal Charles at running back? What did we do when we had when Colt McCoy got hurt in the national championship game, we had to put in Garrett Gilbert? Or what did we learn there that we shouldn't do this time, because that didn't go very well for Texas? There are so many experiences in the coaching career of Mack Brown, which, just the age thing, I'm sure hurts him in recruiting a bit, and I'm sure other coaches and other fan bases are saying, oh, if you commit there, by the time you graduate, he won't be around. But also, don't forget about what that experience brings. He's one of the few coaches that can go no, you know what? Let's go back to my 2002 offense. The crazy part is we're sitting here going, what can Chip Lindsey do to bring a running quarterback and make that so vital? Heck, Mack Brown coached Vince Young to a national championship. A national championship with a running quarterback. A dual threat, as they call him. Yeah, now is Connor Harrell Vince Young? Probably not. Is Omarion Hampton Ricky Williams? Probably not. But the foundation is still there. The ability to get the best out of your roster has to still be there. So, Mack Brown has some tricks up his sleeve. I don't always agree with Mack Brown. And if you listen to the show, you've heard it. I don't love the way he handled the quarterbacks leading up to this one. Every once in a while there's something we disagree about. But there is an element of he's probably forgotten more about coaching college football than a bunch of college football coaches will ever know. And it's not all just the charm and the Southern hospitality and being good in the recruiting rooms, although he is that. There's also everything else that comes along with being a national championship winning legendary head coach in college for decades and decades. So, yeah, go back to your Ricky Williams offense if you have to. If you have to. Go back to your Cedric Benson offense if you had to. Right? If you look around and say this is all we got, well, you've had that situation at some point in your career, I promise you. It's almost like, oh, man, we don't have any great wide receivers. All right, let me go back into my Rolodex of memories here and go, that year we didn't have many good wide receivers. What did we do? Start there. Oh, man, we got all these new offensive linemen. All right, let me go back. What year did we start a bunch of new offensive linemen? Cool, boom. What did we learn? Even if his assistants weren't there, he can pass it along. Don't want to under-talk about the good parts of Mack Brown just because, we've not aligned in all of our thoughts this year. I'm excited for what they can build out of Connor Harrell, and part of that has to do with what he was able to do earlier in his career. Heck, go back to his time at UNC. He's had a lot of success in both stints. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. One of the last things I want to do for you before we turn things over to Overdrive is talk about Miller Lending. Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending, and, of course, that includes Gordon Miller. Just because rates are up right now, I'm talking interest rates, talking mortgage rates, doesn't mean you should be paying $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 in closing costs. Think about it like this. The mortgage payment that the most lenders put in front of you, your monthly payment, and say you'll pay this once a month for the next 30 years. That's not necessarily how it has to work. That's just your next payment. After that, if rates had dropped, refinance, lower that monthly payment. If rates drop at some point in the next year, refinance, lower that monthly payment. When you're using a no closing cost loan from Miller Lending, refinance every time with no closing costs and no fees every time those rates drop a little bit, and your monthly payment can shrink. So you don't have to actually pay that number that they put in front of you originally every month for the next 30 years, because the average loan in this country is just a little less than 4 years, and it has been that way for decades. On average, within 4 years, you're moving, you're refinancing, you're doing something to reset up that loan. So give them a call, 919-447-3377. That's the number to call, 919-447-3377, or visit them online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, and MLS number 250-2146. I promised Overdrive coming up next, and that is exactly what's going to happen. Quite a bit of conversation from earlier today about Bryce Young and where he stands on the Panthers and what he needs from the Panthers. Also, 7 o'clock Wolfpack Weekly, hear from Dave Doran and some insight into the state football team. Until tomorrow at 3, everyone have a great night. We'll see you then.
The Adam Gold Show.
Look, just because Florida